especially good to kind of start off the spring split well here. Try to get as many points as you can. Now, take a look at the bracket here. Here we got a little bit of a format change. If you guys watched the NA show, you've already seen it. But we're going away from the group stage type of showcase for day one. And instead, we have a double elimination bracket. Now, Cole, you tweeted, and obviously we talked about Moist Esports joining in. I woke up to a tweet from Cole saying, "A happy and moist RLCS day one to one and all." And I didn't hear about the announcement just then, and that's the first thing I read. And I'm thinking, Cole, you've lost it. At this point, at this stage of the game, you've lost it. You then explain and showcase what happened. Moist joining, that is with the Queso lineup. Isn't that right, Cole?
Yes, it's absolutely giant. I mean, Queso, fair play to the org. They keep picking up teams that then go on to do great things. So credit to the org themselves. But the boys had, they'd moved on. They were ready for someone of the level of Moist Esports to come in to join Rocket League Esports. Welcome, hello, have a good time. For anybody watching this for the first time, Joyo, Vatira, and Rise, what a team to be following. They are not just brilliant, they are entertaining on the pitch. It's going to be some exciting times.
And also, they are the new players, that's what we're looking at. That's what the current level of player is. But for this event, we have got some older players joining in. On Wolves, we've got Tadpole. He is back for the first time in over a year, I believe. We've then got over on BS Plus. Freaky is here, one of the older players too, back from like season 3 competing. And on SK, Fruity is hanging about, somehow made it. He's 26, an absolute fossil of himself. He's been streaming, content creating, and has been absolutely killing it over on SK. So many of these orgs coming back, alongside Wild as well, having the first Baltic player, Simas from Lithuania. Really, really exciting. Just cool people coming back and also appearing for the first time with new orgs. This is a very, very special event.
Yes, absolutely. And once again, you can watch all the team streams available here from round one. We're going to be checking out K-Corp, Karmine Corp versus Semper as our first matchup of the day. Now, Stumpy, do you have anything to share about this bout that's about to go down?
They don't play each other very often. The last time these guys played each other, and because they have both got new rosters, it went both the way of Karmine Corp. It was 4-2 and then 3-2. But you'll see, Nolly has joined K-Corp. They are over, I believe, boot camping at the moment as well. And then over on Semper, you've now got Exotic in there as well, leading that full French lineup. It's very interesting that we're going to be seeing these guys competing in the RLCS for the first time with this new roster. I'm looking forward to it, but historically, it will be going the way of Karmine Corp, seeing as how good Nolly has also looked.
Well, we got the game coming up here in just about a minute. So first, we're going to host up our Dacia fan vote. Okay, we know that Twitch chat are the most accurate out there when it comes to analyzing games and predicting them. So let's put that to the test, okay? You see the hashtags on screen. Feel free to join in. Cole, real quick, your prediction. Go ahead.
This is where everything is new and exciting for these teams, where they look to the London Major and think, we can do this. Which one do I think is going to be able to do it? I'm going to go with Karmine Corp. I think that they are the ones who had more of a choice in their roster change. Semper had to sort of make do when Archie moved on to Endpoint, and they're going to take those vibes and win this one with them.
Stumpy, what about you?
I consistently say that Astral won't be able to do it, and I always want myself to be proven wrong at every opportunity. I want him to be as good as everyone says that he is. So I want to go Karmine Corp here as well. I want KC to do well. I want this to be that puzzle piece that finally activates what Astral is really capable of.
Listen, I believe in the Stumpy here. I do believe K-Corp is going to be the victor when it's all said and done. And if we can get a load of the chat here, see the results, if we can bring those up. I'm not sure if the vote is done so far. All right, we got a 65% to 35. So it is pretty one-sided. Cole, what do you think of this? The results here from chat?
I feel like all of us, 4 of us three and chat as well, have been very brave to go against an all-French roster in Semper. So we may be about to look very, very silly as we go into this first game in this brand new regional, in this brand new split. Stumpy Goblin, can things get more exciting than they are right now?
Don't think so. I'm so hyped for this entire event because we keep saying how big, these roster changes are. North America was so much fun last weekend, and they've already done their roster changes. We saw how incredibly that went for them at the Winter Major in LA. They took it. They absolutely decimated everything that Europe could really put forward, apart from now the Moist roster. I think that this is Europe's chance to really show off what we can do, what those roster moves and learning from North America can do for a region. And these are two teams that are going to be showcasing that wonderfully.
Well, we're going to see which one of these two is going to make the fastest start with their brand new player. We've got Exotic slotting in for Semper, the fully French roster now. He's done so much in his time as Exotic. Has got the capability to win a series single-handedly. And then Nolly for Karmine Corp. You know, he was seemingly turning into a bit of a forgotten player back in his guild days. Gets dropped and gets picked up by an org that have such loftier ambitions than we've seen from them so far. So plenty to fight to for both of these, but a slightly nervy start as Nolly puts that one to the side for Astral.
Yeah, I think Nolly is a very interesting character because we saw in summer last year, you were looking at Guild as one of the best teams in Europe. Like, we looked at them like towards the end of RLCS X, maybe closer towards the start of 2021, and we think, yeah, like that they can be going to major events and they can be showing off what they can do for the international crowd. And we just never really saw that. Nolly was always a pretty consistent character on Guild. And so then for him to be dropped, I think is a very big statement. I'm intrigued to see just how well Guild do out of it. But I think Karmine Corp have got a great pickup in him. We've already seen just what that synergy is like between him and Astral in previous events when they played in the Dacia Spring Electric event. They did really well in that. I believe they came third, or fourth. But brilliant outing from them. So far, though, they really are being put under a vice by Semper.
I mean, Semper are putting on pressure, but they are very close to each other on the pitch. A couple of times we've seen Exotic.
Again?
I mean, again, there, Exotic had the ball. And then in flew, I think it was Casio, just to double down. So far, it's working for Semper, but they have to be very careful, especially when there's counterattacks like this. Astral, the man of a million mechanics, ain't missing that one.
But look at Casio. Why did he had to stop and turn around really uglily?
It was uglily.
It was very, very uglily. He could have just really tapped that to the corner, just done a handbrake turn. Instead, he got massively in his own head and didn't really do much from it. And Astral able to get that first goal in the Dacia Spring Cup. Fantastic from them. Our opening goal in just what is going to be a phenomenally exciting spring event.
So far, the 65% looking pretty good with their prediction as Itachi flies in onto the backboard. That one goes. And Astral, again, he's not doing too much, but he doesn't have to do that much.
Yeah, when they're winning, you're going to be looking at KC to be keeping those vibes up. And the pass from Itachi, just allowing Astral to go for a touch low. Underneath short set as well, where there were two defenders, neither of them able to get that touch. KC taking that 2-goal lead. It's a position where Semper won't want to be seeing KC in. When they feel confident and happy and that they can win, that is when Astral especially looks very scary.
Good to see Itachi getting involved in the assists as well. When he came through for SD Barcelona way back when, he put so many passes onto his teammate Roniki. They just looked formidable at times. And now he's got Astral and Nolly to play with. KC are looking absolutely possessed right now.
Yeah, I mean, Exotic with a really poor touch, getting the ball away from him. And Nolly passing central to his equally freshly decaled player, Itachi. Both of them rocking the KC decal available in the esports shop. Really like that. We love seeing the players rock their own decals. Astral is using a card that literally can't use it, and therefore I don't hate him for it. But using that, I think it's the Mac E meta.
Good knowledge. And there's also good knowledge from Exotic to go for that one right there. It was good dribbling play from Chaussette. For once, Semper were given some space, and when Chaussette has that, he is able to use it.
It's not the Mac E. I really thought I had it there, but it's not. It's just a different car. I have no idea what that car is. I'm sorry if it's a brand that I should know. That is fully on me. But a good the fact that Semper have been able to get a goal is going to be stopping that bleeding, trying to stop the train rolling from KC. Astral being able to dive back on that ball. All three commit. Itachi with a very weak shot, just hands it straight back to them. And Nolly finding Astral, that's high again. And Nolly, look at him just keep that control. Will secure that flip, isn't going to be able to use it in any meaningful way. But it was just that push from KC. It started to go wrong, and then they gripped it back and maintained control.
Yeah, it was slightly awkward defending there from Semper, but they got away with it, and that's the most important thing of all. If chances are going against you, then you're still staying only 2 goals within within equalising, and eventually you might get that second chance. But Astral again, look how much space he's got. He somehow conspired not to score it, but Nolly will put it away. Very, very weird play there, but it's 4-1.
I mean, Astral shooting wide of that, potentially going for the double to be a bit cheeky, but it doesn't end up paying off. Instead, that left post is gently kissed by Nolly, able to bend it round into the centre of the net. And a minute and a half with 3 goals separating Semper from just an overtime. KC looking very pleased to win the first match.
And they look the better team as well, looking very, very comfortable. It's going to have to be a big comeback right now in the last 1 minute and 18 seconds or so. And you've got to say, Stumpy, that 4-1 is fair based on how this one has gone. KC are spacing out better. Their passes are more incisive. Their touches, they seem to know what they're doing with them more each time. Semper, they're relying on these little dribbles and occasional passes.
Nice.
It can work, though. They have to make things happen, and that's how they do it.
Beautiful play. Look at Exotic whip round that ball. Short set immediately going in for one demo. Instead, Exotic takes on the reins. And Casio whipping it high, air dribbling it into a fantastically open blue net. Halving that goal lead. Only 2 now standing between them and an overtime. And brilliant mechanical play from Semper.
These new teams, they can suddenly turn it on, and Shorset can suddenly turn it on as well, coming from the ceiling, faking Itachi. Saw him coming. Now here's Exotic keeping the pressure on. Casio's going to turn. I think he's going to go for this one. He is. Beats Nolly to the ball straight up. Exotic couldn't arrive quite in time there to beat Astral. But Semper, it seems, suddenly have upped their pace entirely. Itachi's racing to get there. His touch is only as far as Casio. 35 seconds remaining. Semper knocking on the door.
Great rush defense from KC to keep the ball out, however, as Astral just wants to try and keep it in that orange half as hard as he can. Itachi and Nolly both going for that ball, but Nolly intelligently turning back around, realizes Itachi is going to be closer to it. Bumped out of the way this time. Short set with a shot just wide of target. Instead goes for the 50 with Itachi in that back third. A pass from short set to go central. Exotic shooting. Nolly pushed to the right-hand side. The final 10 sees very little chance for Semper.
Yeah, Astral might maybe even able to get a fib here with a couple of little touches in the center of the pitch. It won't happen, but 4-2 will be more than good enough for Karmine Corp to take the first game in this cup right now, as 2 of them commit to get that save. Short set, can he get them? Something for the Rogue? No, he cannot. And Karmine Corp weather something of a storm to take game 1.
That's the first in a best of 5 as well in the Dacia Spring Cup. Great start for Karmine Corp, where questions will be raised, and they always are raised, about an Astral with a new team, where he's looking to say, look, this is the one that's going to take me to the next level. Dropping stake was quite a big statement from them, but clearly feeling confident right now.
They were given so much space, though. I mean, Semper Esports, their defending at times was not what you expect to see at this level, as you can see in the replay package here. So many chances, Orb, that Karmine Corp had. I mean, we all predicted correctly so far.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot to keep track of. I'm glad you guys are holding it down while I try to browse through all the other team streams. And we want to mention it yet again. Team streams for every matchup that you're not able to watch here on the main stage. We had Luminosity versus SK Gaming. That's a 3-2 to Luminosity. The BDS game just started. It got a little late. BDS immediately scored against Wolves. Evil Genius 2.
Your t-shirt.
I'm gonna
Evil Genius 2-0. EG winning that one. Endpoint winning, or currently, 3-1. That is concluded. 3-1 to Endpoint. And Dignitas 1-0 against Solari right now. I also checked out Moist Critical's, because Moist Esports. We want to keep in line of what's happening. And it's so awesome to see so many people in his chat who are probably people that are watching Rocket League for the first time, and they're loving it.
I've just turned it on as well, and I've just seen that it's the 3 guys, including Charlie, Moist Critical, sitting in the middle, just on a sofa in their offices, just enjoying it. And chat are just saying, they're really good at Rocket League.
They've got a lot to see. And Stumpy, while you were watching Moist Critical, I was too busy watching this series right here, watching this game. And Astral gets a very, very early lead for Karmine Corp. More struggles when being too close to each other for Semper Esports. Not quite figured out that close game just yet. Itachi, he's trying to dive across Chaussette. Almost managed to as well. But that's better from Exotic. Just giving a little bit of space, making sure that they're reading Karmine Corp's touches. Because this is a team that are going to want to be expansive with the ball. They're going to want to buy themselves some time and space and then show off their mechanics like Karmine Corp. And if you can make the most of that against them, then you'll be doing okay.
It's going to be such an exciting team to see how they end up linking up. Very Moist-esque in a way. That's going to be a hard one for everybody. Everyone's going to find it tough. It's going to be one of those teams where when they can link up mechanically, they will do stuff that we never thought possible in Rocket League. And we all hope that does happen as Nolly takes to the skies, up for 1. The second comes in, but Exotic, the in and out save, only finds Astral 2 committing to that ball, but Short set with the save, getting those echoes of game number 1, but so far hasn't been too bad with the double commits.
Good discipline from Itachi there as well. I was wondering if he'd venture forward just a little bit to offer Astral a pass. It would have been very risky, considering Nolly was rotating back. But it shows that Karmine Corp are happy to grind out a closer victory, rather than try and bring fire and brimstone and kill their opponents straight away. They know they can just keep eking away at these defenses. Semper with nowhere really to go. Exotic dribbles as far as Itachi, who gets in the way a couple of times. It's a good play from Chaussette, dribbling past, and then Casio helps him out. So slightly better there from Semper Esports. We still need to see more from them, though, as Chaussette dives across his goal. Now he's got boost and the ball. Can he do anything with it to give Semper a go? He's twirling in the air, making Astral and Nolly make the decision. It's Astral that takes it away and then gets a second all-important touch.
Cassio, though, whiffing again. We saw an error from him to have the first goal in game number 1. So hopefully he can tighten those up a little bit. It's still the first one with a brand new teammate, but still, I don't think it's going to be down to Exotic to try and cover up those shortcomings. Oh, gosh.
It's an orb update.
Orb news. Orb news.
That is right. It is an orb update. I just want to let the people know that Moist Esports just won in overtime. A 2:47 overtime, I believe. Hard fought, but Moist is the winner.
Nice.
Record. Never
Starting.
lost a game in competitive Rocket League, have Moist Esports.
We love that. That's brilliant. What a start for that org. If anybody wants to go and check out what is happening over on Moist or any of these streams, you can do so by just Googling the team and then Twitch stream. But otherwise, we've seen 2 goals come in, giving Semper the lead. The first one coming from an error, and the second one just from Cassio, going for a straight-up outspeed of the man on the goal line.
Yeah, Cassio getting them both as well. You somewhat softly called him out, Stumpy, a little bit as being a little bit too quiet in this series so far. And it seems like
he
he
was
heard
making
because
sheer
suddenly-
errors.
He was. Well, there you go. I mean, I was wording it slightly more nicely, but you want to be the mean one. You can be the mean one. I guess it's now okay to say that after the fact. Now he's banged in a couple. Suddenly
Before
Cassio is...
the fact.
All right, Stumpy, look, if you want to change history, then you can change history.
You're making
okay?
errors.
Here he is again. Oh, I think Cassio's really good, no matter what you think. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Right. Do you see what you've done there? Do you see what you've spoken into existence?
I've over-egged him, haven't I?
You've over-egged him. You've passed it down, which actually theoretically isn't too bad. So then went to Exotic to see that there was a player barreling down on him. He should have just sent that up the side wall because then the shot couldn't have come in. But instead, that's going to be an equalising goal for Semper alongside KC here on a beautiful, bubbly Aquadome.
Oh, I love having Aquadome back. Makes me so happy. Nolly almost makes his team happy there. Pushing that one through. More clear-cut chances for Karmine Corp. Despite Semper getting a couple of quick-fire goals, there has definitely been more pressure to the team that are currently playing in blue. Nolly goes for a double tap and gets it. Exotic, though, knew that he was capable of reading that one. And that one's going to come into the centre. Cassio! Stumpy's man!
Wide. Oh, he's touched it. He's touched it. He's got it in. He's snuck it around the post. Great clear from him as well to see that avenue is going to be even slightly available. Astro giving that ball an incredibly wide berth. Knows it's going to be a post bounce, but so awkward to read. Instead, Cassio has to be the one to touch it off that goal line. Actually bounces it out perfectly, because I think KC would have had it covered in any other way. And that is also going to be the Semper lead for them.
Yeah, that would have been a horrible read there. Nolly was on the goal line as well. Just had to watch it bounce over his car. Not fun at all, but still plenty of time for Karmine Corp to get back into it. Credit to Semper. I think it's fair to say they're not playing at their best, but they are grinding out goals. And you're not always going to play flawless Rocket League. You still have to take your chances. It actually goes high. Cassio, all sorts of involved now after his hat-trick. Gets one touch, goes for the second one, but Astral gets it over him. It does, in the end, fall to a Semper player. I think it was Exotic. Now Chaussette can come into the attack as well. Suddenly, Semper, they're finding each other with these attacks. It's not quite precise passing, but they're just following up on the KC challenges.
There's still nice defense from KC as well, where you see Itachi multiple times there had a shot against him. He didn't just try and boom it back central where a Semper player was waiting. He would gently touch it to the corner, and you'd already see Astral or Nolly following up on his movement. Having those chances and that teamwork so early on is going to be absolutely vital. And Itachi passing again. Chance for a long shot, but Astral gets his nose to it. Can Cassio wrap round? He does manage to get around one, but not the second. Nolly able to block that one away. Under a minute remaining and a Semper lead.
Chaussette and Nolly challenge into this one, and it's Itachi. The ball just squeezes out to a couple of touches on the side. Now he wants to beat Cassio. He does. Chaussette, though, saw it coming. So much experience in Semper. They know when these potential awkward moments are occurring. Exotic is going to be able to finish Chaussette's good work, and that's a Team Semper goal.
That slow down from Exotic. He sends it up and then just waits because he knows Astral has to jump to avoid Chaussette. Really well timed. Exotic showing off exactly what he can do when he threatens that final defender. 2 goals separating these teams now.
Exotic's going to fly into this one with Itachi, but Itachi wins it. There could be a nice passing play here onto the backboard. Exotic, brilliant defending from him, keeping this lead to 2, and then huge clearances from Semper. Once they get that monkey off their back, the first game, they all feel so much more relaxed. Chaussette to the ceiling. He's been using the ceiling plays a lot so far this series, and Cassio and Exotic, to their credit, reading them well. Knowing what Chaussette is doing when he can surprise so many of his opponents. 10 seconds left. And at this point, it just looks like Semper are going to just keep defending, send that ball away, and hopefully find themselves to a 2-goal game. Very, very good play in the end, despite a second slow start from Semper Esports.
Yeah, and they gave up more goals than they needed to, realistically, as well. One of them certainly could have been avoided, but still having a 2-goal difference, really good, and certainly a different game plan to what we were seeing in game number 1 as well. You know how we were talking about old names earlier on, Cole, in Rocket League? The substitute for Semper is Sebadam.
Sebadam! Oh,
Good for him! Anybody who knows and inevitably loves Sebadam from back in the day, years and years ago, he's just hanging out and having these old players just chilling out. It's brilliant. We love that.
Speaking of old people.
Oh.
All right.
Okay, first, no. We're not going to, no. You're going to have to do that one again, Cole. You're going to have to do that one.
Speaking of cool people that we like very much that may or may not be called Sebadam.
Me?
Oh.
I have been called many things, but not that. Listen, the Dacia Spring Cup, it is in full force. Okay, there is so much to keep track of. We had Luminosity beating out SK Gaming in game number 2 4-0. So Luminosity seems to be steamrolling SK Gaming a bit, if I do dare say so myself. We had BDS with Seiko versus Wolves 4-1 in their first game. What else did we got? Moist Esports currently up 3-1 against BS Competition in their game 2. Let's see what else we got. Dignitas versus Solari currently 1-1 in game number 2. Endpoint versus Wild 3-2. Winner is Endpoint in match number 2.
I just love seeing the scores come in, seeing the results fly in.
You love that in football as well.
Exactly. It reminds me of Saturday 3 p.m. watching other leagues in real sport. But anyway, we're here watching virtual sport, and Semper are virtually doing better now.
Now, they're also physically doing better, in fairness. And I like how you avoided just saying league football, like a brand. I'm impressed that you dodged it so fantastically. But Semper, yeah, getting that early lead. Again, they scored so early on in that second game too, and it just gives them another chance to, theoretically, have a bit of a nightmare on the back line, and it only takes them to even. But otherwise, they're in the lead. But Nolly, look at that push down, going low with the flip reset. Just then starting not to work, and Semper with Casio shooting once, does ignore that second one, goes for the bump instead. Just Wi-Fi sure set. First 30 seconds have absolutely belonged to Semper.
Yeah, completely. They are just giving KC so much space, defending deep, letting KC come up against them, and then just booming it clear. And it's working. I feel like they're frustrating Karmine Corp, who are trying to play this beautiful, expansive style of Rocket League, and good for them. But when it's not working, you got to see if you can grind out a victory the way Semper have been doing. That's better. Astral flying in. Could be an equalizer here, but Exotic at the far post. Had it covered, I think. And again, great defending from one of the 3 Frenchmen. Semper just can't be beaten at the moment.
Yeah, Exotic really nicely placed on that goal line too. And a lovely touchdown from Casio, able to get the pass over towards Short Set. Itachi in the air. Does take the ball. Not to anywhere important, however. Instead it goes to Casio. Straight back to that orange side. And the redirect from Itachi completely bamboozles the back line of Semper.
Yeah, it's old habits for Semper there from their first game. Double committing and rushing at things a little bit. That's when Karmine Corp can do what they want to do and just bit the ball around you. And Nolly was in the end of that lovely pass there into the center. And it's 1-1. Karmine Corp seems to have weathered the storm somewhat. Semper get themselves an early lead, but lose it. They'll step now onto the back wall. Astral tackles in, shows his speed to get past Casio. Only one left. There's a pass in the center. It's Itachi. That would have been absolutely flawless had it worked. And it was so close.
I wonder why Astral still went for that pass, because there were 2 players ready to defend it. Theoretically, his better idea was go for the solo, draw at least one in, and then go for the pass if available. Instead, it doesn't really matter too much, but Astral just potentially thinking of one plan and just sticking to it even when the circumstances change.
Yeah, it could be the case. But no harm done. And there he is now, pre-jumping there. Wants to get a second touch. Does he have to reset? No, not quite. I think he faked having the reset to make Exotic rush. To tackle the full. So where's that pinch going? Casio gets it all the way into the corner from absolutely nowhere.
Flying from that back line, Casio slings it, finds the top left, and there is nothing Astral is able to do. Brilliant placement. You don't see them going in very often, and when you do, it harkens back to the days of Cuxit.
We talked about frustration on the side of Karmine Corp and how they'd maybe broken through it, but that goal from Semper is going to bring it right back. But they could undo all that Semper work here with Nolly coming from the ceiling. Has no boost, but steals 100. Potentially a bit of boost starvation for Semper, but they're both in the air, so again, no harm done. It's Itachi up against Exotic. Really important part of this third game right now. Is that a fake? It was, but Astral, he was aware and he got the save.
Yeah, definitely a fake then. I love the idea by Exotic because he knows that Nolly has to cover his touch, otherwise that ball is going in, so he goes for the high percentage play. Really intelligent. I'm loving seeing Exotic just really start to get engaged with this series and seeing just how much he wants to control it.
Cassio just bumping poor old Nolly about 17 times there. Just when Nolly seemed to reassert himself on the pitch, he was just nudged again by Cassio. He's flying in from the side. Still wanted to be involved, Cassio. It was good to see that after his slow start. Really seems to be calling for the ball a lot more in this team. Astral, he'll always call for the ball. He'll flick it over the top as well. Itachi has a pass in the center, which is Nolly, if he can get it round to him. More confident defending there from Semper Esports. Shorset goes down the line. His dribble stumpy have been effective, Shorset, in this series. Whether it's going to the ceiling or keeping it low, it's been a good weapon for Semper.
Yeah, I think Semper have definitely got a big range of attacks that they can use realistically against that KC back line, but they haven't worked every single time, and I like that they do just keep, every now and then, they will change it up, but otherwise they'll stick to old reliable players. They'll look at Shorset to be trying to be as mechanical as he can be. Nolly going for double taps as well on the other side of things, time and time again. Seeing some of these players just use what they know they can do so incredibly well. And Nolly really is trying to go for those double taps as much as he humanly can.
Well, he got that famous double tap for Singularity in their first season in the RLCS, did Nolly, from the tight angle. So he scored some good goals, it's fair to say, but he needs one here in the next 1 minute and 2 seconds. That ball's going nowhere, and Exotic had the read on it anyway. Shorset with help from Itachi. Gets it over back to the blue half of the pitch. Cassio could beat Astral here. He does. Nolly, lovely touch, good control, good dribbling as well. Then he gets it over the top. This is where he can be effective, but Exotic with another brilliant read, showing some great defense. K-Corp going for so many of these double taps though, but are they too easy to read?
I don't know. I reckon when one of them goes on target, the Semper back line will just be completely caught out. Both players, Nolly and Astral, giving up on that ball, calling each other onto it. But realistically, one of them just should have taken charge and carried on. Nolly receiving one pass from Itachi. Balls to Shorset to save it. Instead, Astral able to try and snipe. Cassio, rather, being able to send it away instead. Passing onto the backboard. Now Itachi in the midfield. Final 10 seconds. They need a goal, otherwise it is series point.
Nolly has maybe one more chance to get this into the center. Needs to get the second touch. He does. It's past Exotic for once. Itachi is the recipient, and Karmine Corp do have their equalizer.
Nolly with a nail in the coffin goes underneath 2 players and then bumps the final man on Semper. Itachi has the easiest job in the world there, and you cannot mug that one up. 4 seconds until we see an overtime. Well deserved by KC.
KC, they tried the same thing about 7 times. Finally it worked, the last attempt of all. And it's looking like it's going to take them into overtime, unless Shorset one touch and the second one. Oh, but what a save that was. I think it was Itachi.
Everyone's going. Everyone feels it. We are having a monstrous series right now. KC just trying to play for that next game so then they can bring it up to 2-1 in favour of themselves. Nolly in the sky with one flip reset. Doesn't manage to get the pass Shorset instead Astral able to receive it in the midfield. Cassio and Exotic committing together but doesn't cause any issues. Instead, you see Itachi alongside Astral.
Yeah, but it scares me so much in defence when Exotic is that close to Shorset, who had it covered. That could be their downfall, Semper Esports, if they keep making that mistake. But wasn't to be on that occasion. Now here's Astral. He can force a mistake from the opponents, but just makes one of his own there, bouncing off that side wall. Ollie booms it forward. Casey just wanted to get some territory for now. It's a lovely touch, actually, towards Astral, but again, just doesn't quite work out. And look at the pre-jumps. Semper Esports know exactly what Casey are trying here.
Yeah, I mean, that pass from Nolly as well, I think that's a really clever idea. He saw Astral completely unguarded on that left wall and goes for the pass to him instead of just going high to himself. But it got caught out by a pre-jump. A good demo from Cassio. Revenge towards Atomic. Sorry, Itachi, rather. Where did Atomic come from?
Exotic, Atomic. They sound
Exotic,
similar.
that's the one. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just still so enamored with North America.
Yeah, G2. Good team. Anyway, we'll move on to them next week. For now, it's Exotic in the corner. Itachi's been beating all ends up there. What's he doing? Cassio just lets the ball bounce on him. Tries to lob it over the top, but that's a good touch from Nolly. End-to-end stuff right now. Boomer ball is in play. All sorts of these players trying to be a little bit more safe, but still the double commits come in. Exotic is the recipient of so many of these, but it's somehow worked out. Semper take the overtime.
That's not allowed. That is not allowed to be able to do that. Look at the sheer double commit. Astral doesn't even consider that Exotic may well still be on that ball, and yet delivers a dagger to the net of KC. That is Semper going up 2-1. One more, and they proceed through this bracket, and they strip KC of one of their lives.
Orb, let me tell you something, mate. If you're looking to get into Rocket League yourself, don't look at what Exotic's done just there and think, yeah, if my teammate's going for the ball, I will too. It always works out. Because it doesn't, Orb. It doesn't. That's not how it's meant to be. that's not right.
Listen, you miss all the shots you don't take, right? So you gotta go for it, right?
If Gregan was here with you right now, he would give you a 7-minute rant about why that's not the case and you're wrong.
Listen,
don't say that later today.
I get to have the Gregan rant, the 7-minute Gregan rant later, so it's all good. Some updates then. Okay, so Luminosity, they just swept the series. I love that whenever we have like a main stage matchup, it's always like very close. It's overtimes and it goes the distance. Luminosity 3-0 in the series. Wolves Esports, okay, they're having... They're having some improvements here. So they pushed BDS to overtime in game 2, and they're currently up 2-0 with 35 seconds to go in game number 3. So I don't know if this is a crack into BDS shield. Is this Wolves Esports?
That's Wolves
finding the old rhythm.
That's Wolves. Who knows? That's all it is. It is Wolves, and that is what they do.
And let's see. Okay, and Moist Esports, they're currently 100% win rate. They are 3-0 in the series.
Never lost.
And they have 100% win rate.
Never lost.
Go Moist Esports.
Wow, that's huge. Wow. That is massive. What a start. I hope that everybody on the Moist Critical channel right now is absolutely flipping their lid, because that is a very exciting time to see, hey, look, we just picked this team up, and yes, they are still sick, and they are not succumbing to the nerves.
But we're excited by the shiny new toy in RL Esports. But these guys, these orgs, these teams right here, right now, KC have got themselves a little bit of a problem, Stumpy, because they look more beautiful on the pitch. You know, they're trying to score nicer goals. But Semper Esports are just bullying them, and they are not falling for their tricks. KC, I feel, need to mix it up a little bit more. It's always the perfect goal they're looking for, the ideal double tap. Nothing ugly, nothing fought for, in my opinion.
I mean, I think it comes down to... I think KC are trying a lot of different things, and I really, really enjoy looking at that. And I think it mainly comes down to how well Semper are dealing with it. They're pre-jumping everything. They are looking like Atomic in the grand finals versus Queso, of now Moist Esports. Like, he was pre-jumping in game 6 of that, just time and time again, and it shut them down. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing Semper do. And it's something that is going to be learned. These pre-jumps are absolutely vital. So long as you have somebody behind you ready, just in case you miss, or the opponent goes low instead of high, whatever it ends up being, then pre-jumps are brilliant. And Exotic wiping Astral off the face of the earth twice.
They'll keep doing what they're doing, will KC, but Semper will do the same. Astral sends that one out wide. Nolly is up there. His clearance only as far as Casio, so the Semper squeeze is beginning to occur. Starting to get a bit more of this territory and pressure. Casio has a passable Chaussette, but Chaussette wisely decides against it to keep the attack going the slow way. Exotic only finds Nolly. Chaussette just happy to let him dribble for a second and then tackle him. Not let him gain any territory back. Finally, Astral breaks through. Here's Itachi. But Chaussette again defends so darn well for Semper. KC just having nothing in the final third.
Yeah, KC just keep getting shut down in the midfield. Again, it's either by those pre-jumps or it's by the fact that they are just being blocked somewhere on the floor. Chaussette destroying Nolly again. Those demos becoming ever more prevalent on the side of Semper, trying to take out as many KC players as they can. Nolly central towards Astral, but beaten out. Casio taking the initiative and flying face first at that ball.
Karmine Corp have slightly adapted their playstyle. They're going for more booms and then following up the ball, trying to dare Semper to make a mistouch, like potentially that one from Chaussette. That is the KC plan in action. Didn't quite work there. But eventually they feel it will. A brilliant dunk from Nolly, and Itachi's in for a freebie.
Excellent, excellent positioning from Nolly there. Ends up just challenging Exotic on the side, and then continues to boost and goes in front of where Chaussette is sending it so calculatedly that Itachi, once again by the hand of Nolly, just has to tap it in.
Place your bets, everybody. Is uglily or calculatedly a better word? I am truly curious because I genuinely love them both. Is Casio over the top? Couple of wall dashes I think he did there just to get himself some pace, but still not able to quite reach the ball. And Astral sends it long. They know the game plan works. Nolly's still going for those double taps of beauty. It was bumped in the sky. Here's Itachi, he rolls up. Oh, he actually waits for the boost. Smart play from Itachi, but it might backfire here. Astral has to send it long, and Exotic on his way back gets a great touch there. So things not quite working out for either team, but nice ideas all round.
Chance there for Astral to doink over one of the defenders to get it in, and a pinch nearly going the way of KC this time. Instead, Cassio wants to be the only man remembered for that in this series. Itachi challenging Exotic in the midfield. It's 144, and a touch coming in from Cassio to get some pressure going. Exotic on the relatively open there. Itachi has to dive in front to get anything, and he is unable to.
Yeah, it was great play there from Exotic. He knew he couldn't beat Itachi to the ball, so instead he used Itachi's touch and just tried to guide it home. Semper Esports grind out yet another goal. Karmine Corp can't keep their lead. And Semper Esports 1 minute and 38 seconds away. They can just get one more goal. That could be the end of this best of 5. Remember, double elimination format. Whoever loses this has just 1 life remaining in the entire tournament. So important to win. Itachi might be able to keep Karmine Corp in it, but Chaussette not just gets the save, but also gets a few more little bites of that cherry as he gets rid of the attacker afterwards. The mistake was almost made there, but Chaussette, thankfully for Semper, was back. Astral jumping off that side wall, ends up pitching it into the corner. Just patient defending here from Semper Esports, not trying to race Karmine Corp to the ball, letting them have it, knowing they can clear it, but it can backfire if they get beaten just once, and Astral could be the key in doing that.
The Exotic on the other side of things is phenomenal. So far, the new pickup for Semper has put forward an 80% goal participation so far in this series. He's had 4 goals and he's had 4 assists. He has been everywhere and has been absolutely vital to Semper's success so far.
It's difficult to step in the shoes of Archie, but Exotic is showing that he has every chance of doing that. But to do so, you have to win series like this one. It's all well and good playing well, all well and good wrestling the initiative away from your opponent, but you have to get that sweet, sweet victory. Exotic is trying to make it happen now, but he's beaten by Astral. Chaussette's coming in. Cassio is all the way back home, just in case pinches like this happen. This is Cassio's job. He's not going to get there in time. Astral gets it high. This is still so dangerous. It could be one hit by KC. Exotic, yet another touch in defense. It's not just that goal participation. It's also the key touches he's made when Karmine are attacking themselves.
The final couple of seconds, it's a Semper push. It's Nolly backflipping to get that ball away and touched down in the end by Exotic. We have overtime. One more goal is going to be seeing Semper go through to face off against Moist Esports in our upper quarterfinals, and they will be sending KC to the lowers. But KC, they do not want that early, especially with this newfound roster.
Let's get ourselves a game 5 to start off this first regional. That is what the world wants to see. The Dacia Spring Cup. Chaussette with an awkward touch to the back wall. Astral contemplates going up there, but instead leaves it for Itachi. Good play. Itachi now. Can he cause some pandemonium in that Semper defense, which has been so solid all the way up to now? No, he can't. Good touch from Astral. Cassio steaming in, though. Itachi's on that back wall, and he just wants to slow things down for a second. Good play again from Itachi. He seems to be the player, to me, from Karmine Corp, that's most likely to just influence the game.
Minute has passed, and yet again, looking at what Semper can do on that opposition side, you'd expect them to have maybe had a chance of scoring so far, but it's been shut down by KC. Good bump in the back line from Nolly, but with this push from Semper going on, Astral has to save away. Exotic rip-roaring a shot towards net. Again, a shot from Chaussette, saved away by Itachi with 0 boost. He has to push up against that new man. Chaussette not able to receive that ball. Instead, does get the 100 mid boost, fakes one out. That back corner taken. Cassio with a mispositioning. KC can push.
Almost in there for Nolly. Exotic had missed. When he makes mistakes, they seem to be punished, like at the end of the last game. But he gets so many good touches. Here's Chaussette onto the backboard himself. Astral reads it all the way. More brilliant defense from Astral right there. He got a great save earlier, and there was the second one. And now his teammate Itachi can storm down that line. Exotic does his best to get in his way. And then Nolly gets in. Exotic gets past them both. That will clear up some space. Astral has to win this. He does, but who's going to be next to the ball? It's Chaussette. To the back wall he goes. Read by Itachi. Lots and lots of good, important defensive touches here from both teams. Are keeping this one at a stalemate so far.
Itachi's ability to slow this ball down time and time again is absolutely instrumental. He is changing the pace of this play. And look at him now, up in the sky, completely on his own. Does send the ball painstakingly far away, however. With Nolly trying to challenge on that back wall and then forced a short step with Astro just trying to find his angle to nip in, and it just can't find it with Nolly. Sending it leftward. Itachi left completely open, and it just skims the top left corner.
Oh, so close. Itachi was just waiting to see if both Semper defenders were going to miss. Once they did, he had to get some more momentum on his car because he wasn't certain it was going to happen. I mean, he couldn't get the angle, but he got so close. It was a lovely pass across the middle. But that chance is gone. They have to make another one to Karmine Corp.
Almost like an impossible pass. The fact they made it and a pinch.
It's in! Oh. Semper! A pinch out of nowhere yet again. And they are going to take this series by 3-1.
Nothing but pinch merchants over on Semper Esports, taking their first series over Karmine Corp 3-1. They will be moving through to face off against Moist Esports in the upper quarterfinals. Former case, so if you have just joined us. But wow, Exotic fits on that roster well.
He does.
Oh my God.
That's like, I loved seeing that contrast of styles, Orb. That is, to me, the best sort of Rocket League. When one team are doing one thing, another are playing in a complete different way, and you just see them try and argue and wrestle over which way is better.
Well, I mean, you can argue all you want, but at the end of the day, there's a winner, and there's going to be a non-winner. Can we say loser on here?
You can say somebody who lost. Big old loser, yeah.
A winner and a non-winner. Okay, it's the way we say it on here to be politically correct with everyone. Now, listen, we had some sweeps. I mentioned in the previous break or in the previous interlude between matches there that there are. The main matches, the main stage matches, they always seem to go the distance. Obviously, now we had another overtime. But like I called out before, Luminosity swept, that's SK Gaming. Vitality swept Misfits, even though there was only a 1-goal difference on every single one of their games. So it seems to be a close matchup, but Vitality takes that one. And then Endpoint also sweeping Wild. And then, of course, we had Moist Esports, as we already know, who swept BS competition. But we still have a series going on, Solari versus Dignitas. Let's see what's going on. Let's see if we can do a listen-in, maybe. Can we?
Jack here, 10 seconds left, trying to get a 50-50 mid. Does not happen. We might be going to another overtime, but Dignitas wants to end it here. Scrub, trying to go for a pinch, doesn't work. Jorius just throws it at the net. The floater almost drops in, but it does fall. Overtime, game 4.
And here we go. Golden goal here for Dignitas to move on in the bracket, the upper bracket. If they can get this one against Olery.
Nice.
And they can finish this one 3-1. 16 seconds into overtime. Jack is looking to set up a play. Gets shut down at mid. Scrubs there just to buy some time for the other two to get boosted up. Jack's taking his time doing thusly.
Nice little pass there by Jorius on defense. Yeah, Scrub now going for the demo play. He doesn't get it, but Colonel Jack, he takes that corner boost. That's very, very important. Boost starve. Pair of the Jack up in the air, trying to just make them miss, but the corner boost goes to Mike Boy, so maybe they'll push out now. Jorius is moving up just a little bit too much. Scrub makes a good play, though. 2 50-50s, and the ball goes right back on the blue side.
Minute into this overtime, and we have a chance here. Jack off the backboard, second touch, up to Jorius. Jorius, no finish, and there's no follow-up there either from Jack or Scrub. They knew it was too dangerous, and they'll have to try again. Ole with the ball, though. Dangerous.
Open, another low 50, but he loses control, thankfully. Scrub should be able to get this wall clear out. Can he get another 50 here? He does not. Apparently, Jack's got to retreat, but Jorius is there. Ole going off the wall.
All right, get to him. Get the ball away from him.
Just get Ole out of here. Ban him.
Delete him off the field. Something. All right, low boost situation for Dignitas defense right now. They're playing it solid, good clear, but that could have been more dangerous than it was.
Yeah, well, we got pretty lucky that they weren't pressuring too hard there. Apparently, Jack, he got a mid boost and some 50-50s there, but Ole on the wall, but he's got 0 boost. Very, very important there, so he can't do anything with it. And now he's demoed out.
Good.
Yeah, just keep him off the field.
Good.
We should just tell Scrub, hey, just go demo Ole for the rest of the game. Let's just play 2v2.
Get him. Go get him. They're not going and getting him. All right, just get a goal.
Uh-oh, George.
This is
okay.
tricky.
Oli, he's got 100 boost in the tank. Okay, Scrub, good 50, but no follow-up, though, with the shot. Though secures it, top left corner. There was just no follow-up at this point. First for Scrub, and Joris went to the back wall because of the threat of Oli. You just never know at this point, so tries to play for the shot as well.
There was zero.
That leaves it open.
All right. Well, listen, it might as well go the distance. It is round 1. It is the Dacia Spring Cup, essentially the return of RLCS for Europe. We got to have more Rocket League, right, guys? We just got to have more.
I love that we do. I love that we do.
Yes.
It's Dignitas. I was going to say that I was thankful that they didn't go 2-0 up. Because, my word, they liked getting reverse swept at the Winter Major. It was not exciting for them. It was Space Station. It was Evil Geniuses. Potentially Solary, but no. They managed to win game 1 and then lose game 2 and then win game 3 and then they just lost game 4. So now we're in game number 5. Don't know which way it's going to go.
That's all I've learned about Rocket League through my brief time in this sport, in this esport. It is that you don't really want to be up 2-0 because then you could get reverse swept. So like the thought of being just the chance of that.
We have a stat man watching this right now that's probably going to go, well, actually, 87% of the time you do it. But no, I know exactly what you mean. When you're up that 2 and you lose the first one, suddenly you start thinking, oh, we lose this, it'll be really bad. It happens a lot when a team is about to upset a favored team. They go 2-0 up, and suddenly their playstyle completely changes. If they were playing free-flowing, beautiful Rocket League, suddenly they'll be defensive because, you know, what if we mess this up now? Wouldn't that be a shame? Something like winner's tilt. Exactly. That's our little term that we believe we've coined. One of us probably nicked it from somewhere without realizing.
Yeah, that's fine, though. That's fine.
But okay, so looking at this Dignitas game here, so who do you got here in game 5? Who do you think looks the strongest? I mean, you obviously have been focusing on your own game so far, the ones we've been casting, but
I mean, Solary, former Sir, as of about 45 minutes ago, they are really good. They are absolutely fantastic as a team. They've been together for quite a while as well. I think potentially
the IEM.
Potentially longer than this Dignitas have?
Yeah, it was the IEM event, which I think Dignitas were Dignitas at that point. But, you know, this is going back.
But like similar times at least. Like Solary, they're not like a new team, even if people haven't seen them, for example. Like they've been teaming together for a while. It's just that now we're seeing them in these big events.
Yeah, I mean, Solary, as Sir, their former team, also did win the Dacia Spring Electric tournament. So this is a team that has won an off-season event. You know, they're not going to be easy to beat at any given time. And, you know, based on what good old Gibbs and Leaf were saying, Oli is a bit of a menace to Dignitas' defense right now. You know, all we can do is base it on what those guys were telling us. But it does seem to be the case of him scoring that one as well. They look good. They're a fast team, our Solary. You know, they're going to be able to keep up for anyone with pace. They don't grind out victories. They want to come up against their opponents and actively beat them. But, you know, when you're up against Dignitas, you got to do that. You can't give them respect, can you?
But Dignitas, I don't think recently have really commanded respect either. I think that they had a really tough time at the Winter Major. They did not perform to a level that anybody realistically wanted them to. And I think that they'll be looking at that performance after not being able to play on stage, and they'll be regretting that massively. I think Dignitas, they really do need a shake-up. I know they said they're looking for a coach. They're looking for just something to change how they have been playing. But they need a lot more than I think is just the case. You know, add a coach in, and hopefully that will be the trick. There has to be a lot of shuffling around mentally, internally in that team, because we know how good they are. We know how incredible Jack and Joris are together, and adding Scrub to that is the theoretical perfect third man. And they were starting off. Hello, Orb. Sorry, I'm ranting.
You are.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just wanted to kind of pick your brain. Obviously, Cole, feel free to jump in as well. When we talk about a fast team versus maybe a slower paced team, is there one that tends to come out on top? Obviously, all things considered, it depends. Maybe it's situational, but is there one tactic that may be harder to play against, right? Really fast team.
That's difficult to play against, though. If you can nail those every single time, it doesn't matter how quick or slow you are in defense. For a relative standing start as well. Absolutely brilliant. It sort of goes up and down with the meta. Orb, the history of Rocket League, you had RLCS Esports, then the original Dignitas around Season 5, and they would just grind out victories. They were just solidity. And then Cloud9 in Season 6, they introduced a little something called the flip reset to competitive Rocket League, and that blew the whole game wide open. Occasionally it gets more boomer bally, and then suddenly a team figures out, how to play like BDS, where they are fully rotating at top speed around each other. At the moment, you have to be able to play at full pace. You can't grind your way to a tournament victory. Maybe a top
I love
four.
boomer bally. That's a beautiful term.
I think as well, if we look at the grand finals from the very nice from the Winter Major, you see that Queso, they are essentially the epitome of we drive fast and hit ball faster. Like they are ball chase to the extreme. They are incredible at it. They are so quick and so frantic with every single thing that they do. And I have to keep saying it now, moist for anybody who hasn't been keeping up with that news, against G2, a team that was so controlled and really wanted to make sure that they had every hole in that series they could. They let it slip every now and then. They let it slip very famously at the end of that series with 2 seconds left in the first. They ended up conceding to Batera, I believe it was. But in the end, G2 won it out. They got that victory by being the slower, more controlled, and also more experienced team with X amount of other, variables outside of just the gameplay that was going on. But I think right now we're looking at control, but you have to be, that doesn't mean you can be slow, they're not mutually exclusive.
Who do you think is the fastest team out there right now?
Probably Queso.
Yeah.
But then First Kid is like one of the fastest players in the world. So I'd still probably say Queso to put money on.
FaZe, also coming from Middle East Falcons as well. They are just incredibly quick, but there's less data. At least we see them less often on this broadcast, so it's
less international data too. Compare them to big fish, small pond kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not all about pace. The beautiful thing, Orb, is that there actively are playstyles in Rocket League, and that's not always been the case. Every now and then the meta can slow down and you find everybody playing the same way. That's why I mentioned Dignitas and Cloud9 back in Season 6, because that's probably the most famous example. Oh, so close to that passing play. But at the moment, you've got Space Station Gaming, for example, and their job is to make the game as not fun as possible. What a finish for their opponents. So it's
Should that have been a save?
Yeah, any way you want to play, you can.
Should this have been a save from Jack? I'm wondering. So
no, he was landing
in the middle.
I think it's because he was landing was the problem, so he had no momentum.
He also had to, I think when he landed, he was holding handbrakes, and then he had to leave immediately from the floor. That's awkward, and that's Solary as well, going 3-1 up with only 20 seconds left. Good lord. Should we hear, can we hear Leaf and Gibbs just being sad? That might be quite fun. Can we do that?
15 seconds left, half the score now. It doesn't look like it's going to be the case. And Dignitas, the number 2 team in Europe, will drop in round 1.
I told you. Lower bracket. I called it. Lower bracket. Now make a run.
So everyone on Twitch, blame Leaf. Yeah, just blame.
All right. Well, Bible thumbs in the chat for Dignitas. Man, I just wonder how Gibbs feels at this moment. You guys are just mocking them. It's poor Dignitas.
Yeah, I love Dignitas, but it's always funny when Gibbs is sad. That's the rule.
No, listen, I like Gibbs too much. I can't say that. I want to see a happy Gibbs at all times, okay? Happy Gibbs, best Gibbs. But there you have it, my friends. Listen, we're going to wrap up round 1. A lot of good games have been had. A lot more good games will be had for round 2. So we're going to be right back. The Dacia Spring Cup coming up with round 2 right after this. Stick around.
Bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere. I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad when people run
And in the last day, in the last minute, Williams came up to me and they say, "We need a player. You're benched. Let's discuss." And I didn't even try it with the team, and they picked me up. So
To get the ball to the corner and Stake, the self-professed man that doesn't reckon he's got the mechanics, slots that in at such a lovely angle.
I've been in Williams, like, start screaming and everything. We did only 4 hours, maybe. I enjoyed it. New teammates, new environment, positive environment. I really enjoyed it.
Prime, who takes that extra split second. Brilliant. That's what was needed. Williams Resolve get their goal.
I'm not the player that is mechanically good. I'm not the player that is, for example, a Batira, a very good mechanically player and insane stuff. And I think I'm a regular player. I'm a consistent player, and I will give consistency to the team.
And that team is one that is beating BDS into the ground.
Moving from a team that can aim for Worlds and going to a team that it's almost impossible in terms of points, it gives you less pressure, in a way to say it. You're still fighting for regionals, you're still fighting for major, but what you aim for is the championship. So not being able to compete for that, now you have less pressure. You need, okay, I'm not aiming for this, let's play good for this, you know?
Went up and Stake up for a shot will ruin the reputation of BDS and delivers them their worst performance in an RLCS event.
None of this seems right. What am I holding on to? If it could be black and white.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Dacia Spring Cup. It is time for round 2. Cole, how you holding up, man? You okay? Oh, I saw the double.
Yeah, the double. Yeah, look, mate. Okay, when it's
You're
Rocket League on the
excited. You're
go,
pumped.
yeah, I am pumped. I absolutely am. I mean, we got to see an amazing Game 5 at the end there between Dignitas and Solary. Sadly, we didn't on our main featured stream. It was 3-1, but a great performance from Semper. And the results, like, I just love seeing the data roll in. Look, some teams are below, some teams are above. And it's so important, Orb, as well, because all of these wins and losses depend on how many points you get. That's how you make the London Major. Yeah. If you don't make the London Major, no matter how many points you got, you're in real trouble for Worlds. So it's just... every series is of the utmost importance.
Stumpy, who's looking to be in trouble then? Since Cole mentioned it, who's looking to be in trouble from these first round results?
My biggest team that I'm looking at is unfortunately Wolves, maybe, because like they have had such.
But they pushed the overtime though. They pushed overtime, and that was game 2.
But that's a really, really hard team to come against to begin with. Nobody looked at them and thought, or very few people thought, they're going to beat BDS. That's fine. BDS are one of the best teams in the world, right? And then they've been chucked into the lowers, and they need to come up against SK. Not a bad matchup, but SK did look very, very good coming through the closed qualifiers. So I just think it's a horrible bracket for them.
I know we haven't got much time, but really quickly, Evil Geniuses, who made it to the Winter Major, and Misfits, who keep not quite making it to these majors, those guys are in real trouble because they're against each other, and they are 2 top-tier teams down there in that lower bracket.
Well, we're all going to see how it's going to shape up here in round number 2. We got the upper quarters. We're going to be watching Moist Esports versus Semper. I love saying that, by the way. When do you get a chance to say Moist Esports? I mean, I love it.
Loads
so Moist
now.
Esports versus Semper. This is going to be quite the game. Does Moist have the advantage here, Stumpy?
Yes, I would absolutely say so. I think that Moist are the best European team. They did a phenomenal job carrying Europe up the mountain of North America in LA. And I think Semper, although they look pretty good versus KC, there were clearly holes there. There were problems they need to work on. Maybe they'll fix it, but Moist are, quite frankly, another level when you look at any of the teams that they'll be coming up against over in this region.
Yeah, the lineup did so good for so good in the LA Majors, what I wanted to say. I mean, I was conflicted to watch, by the way, because it's like, obviously, you know, I love the G2, I root for them all the time, but then it's like this EU team that's there, and it's a conflict of the heart, truly is what it is. We're gonna host up the Dacia fan vote here to see what the chat thinks. Who got this? Do you guys agree with Stumpy? Is it going to be Moist Esports all the way? That is the question. So feel free. Hashtag it up. Put it down in the chat. Your vote will be counted. And let's see. Cole, how one-sided is this going to be?
I think this is going to be... Oh, what number? I reckon this will be 85%.
I mean, the matchup, the numbers, sure. Feel free.
And I think, you know, that's a little bit more than it should be. But I think that Moist Esports are definitely the favorites here. I feel like they play a similar style of game to what Karmine Corp were attempting, but they've been doing it longer together. They're faster at it, they're more consistent at it, and they're better at it. So Semper, they just blocked their way to the victory in the last series we saw. They're going to have to do more than that, and I'm not sure they're ready to do that just yet.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. Yeah, I think Moist are the better team here. They, I would pick very, very few teams to beat Moist in any situation, realistically. I've got them going through, personally.
I mean, I just loved, I mentioned this earlier a little bit when I was watching through the different streams. It's so awesome to see, obviously, Moist Criticals, you know, he's got his main stream on. So many players and so many people that are watching Rocket League for the very first time. It's like a great way to introduce like a whole plethora of new people to the game of Rocket League. It's beautiful.
92.
Oh, I didn't even see it until now. 92. Chat is one-sided. Chat is decided. And as we all know, chat is never wrong. Chat is never wrong. Does this surprise any of you, Cole?
No, I think that's fair, especially with all the people tuning in for Moist. I think that's pretty expected.
What's the highest percentage we've had in terms of a vote?
I believe we've had 95-5. So 91 isn't too far off, and it was 92 at one point. But Moist are going to be kicking things off against Semper. They have got an unbelievably huge fan base behind them now. Okay, so, you know, they earned the hearts of so many people in Europe, and Moist is going to continue growing at that. And Semper, they've got a lot to go up against on and off the pitch.
Yeah, but it's not going to be easy for Moist right now. Semper Esports are a team that made it to the first major back when they had Archie instead of Exotic. So this is the team that has done it pretty much all in the realm of the RLCS. Got far in that top 4, I believe, as well. So don't expect this one to be easy. Any Moist fans out there. And Semper fans, well, you're in for a good game right here because Moist are going to be incredibly speedy, so attacking, and show so many mechanics. I think 91 and 9% Stumpy is a little bit unfair on Semper. I think it's going to be a close one.
Yeah, hoping so. Hoping the game 5 get as much content as possible out of them. But sure set, up for one shot. Rise diving in front of Vatira to clear that one away. But good send up high onto the backboard with Exotic. Managing to clear that ball away. Finds Cassio onto the opposite side of the wall. Joyo can't quite get his nose to the tip of the pass from Vatira. And look at the boys using nice coloured decals and stuff. You know, repping that blue side.
So close to connecting with that clearance from defense that Vatira just sent long was Rise earlier on. Could have been a real chance for them early doors in this first game. It's going to be a long old series. The short set races Vatira to the ball, but Vatira beats him. Exotic was already up, and we saw that so much in his last series. Pre-jumps from Semper. Esports are going to have to try and get through that, but bumps will help. Rise now has a couple of touches. Cassio steams in quickly. Vatira there takes the second touch. The communication on point, as always. His teammate left the ball to him. And now Rise, though, leads it to short set.
Yeah, it was a good turn by Rice, keeping that pressure on, but Joyo able to get over the top of Atomic onto the right wall. Cassio will fly. The pressure from Semper, those pre-jumps going to be as important as ever because we know how quick Moist are able to be. And the way to beat that is just get off the ground before the floating ball, though, sees Moist concede, and Cassio is the one to send it in.
Great start for Semper. Look at the speed from Exotic there, beating Vatira to the ball, and then Chaussette as well getting involved, making the finish for Cassio as easy as possible. The man who had all the momentum in the play managed to put it away, and it's an early lead here for Semper. Well, I say early. I mean, we're a couple of minutes into the game, and Semper have just got the first one. It just goes so quickly when the Rocket League looks like this.
A good chance for Vatira to get that double tap. Joyo on target, and Joyo through 3 defenders that time. A great pass from Vatira straight to the backboard. Fakes out that double tap with Shorset miss as well. There's a touch that came in from Shorset, but just not quite enough.
Yeah, Shorset almost recovered and was able to get the save there in the end after missing on the backboard, but not quite to be. And there was the equalizer for Moist in the form of Joyo, who had such a good major. I mean, all 3 of them did. Here he comes again. Rise here, trying to build some momentum up. Past another player there, but Semper just showing solidity. Shorset now has a chance to dribble. Such a good dribbler of the ball. One of the most famous dribblers of the ball in all of Rocket League is Shorset. Didn't work out too well for him there, but still pressure for Semper. They are looking better, dare I say, than they did in the last series, but they're up against a better team.
I mean, we said that Semper needed to work out those kinks, and they certainly have looked to be doing that. They've made sure that they're a lot tighter. They are rotating quite as close to each other. Exotic in particular, although he was very good in terms of goal participation, his positioning left question marks. He was far too close to his teammates and led to some double commits. With Exotic, though, pre-jumping that shot, Joyo has to clear it away as quick as he possibly can. With Cassio to the ceiling, he can touch it down. And look at Moist having to spread themselves so thin just to try and save any shot that Semper put on target.
Lovely pass into the center towards Cassio, but he is completely boostless. All he can do is fake the Moist defense out, try and make them think he's got something until his teammate comes in. That's what happened. And that's Cassio in the corner. More pressure from Semper. They do look like the better team so far in this first game, despite conceding most recently. Rise's pass is only going to fall as far as Exotic. He takes a couple of touches as well. Lots of clean touches right now for Semper. It's surprising to see Moist give away so much pressure and let their opponents have all this possession. I'll have a plan, I'm sure, but right now Semper will be very happy with how the first 4/5 of this game has gone.
Lots of ball control as well coming in, just in the midfield, tapping it high, making sure that Moist aren't able to clear it too far down the pitch. Cassio pushing with 0 boost. Exotic was able to take the shot off, but it just came to him far too quickly. Vatira on the left wall with 50 boosts. He's Joyo central, doesn't try and find him. Goes for the fake low. Exotic clearing away. Rise with a pretty unfortunate touch. Instead just falls to Joyo. There's nobody from Semper. Thought he was going to mess it up just as he did. A good boost steal from Vatira means that this attack is able to continue until a long clear comes in the final 30 seconds. These teams level so far.
I feel like this game is going to come down to what can Moist do in the air. Can they surprise Semper with those pre-jumps in defense? make them regret their decisions. Vatira with a relatively simple save across goal and a lovely demo from Joyo on Cassio. Opens a bit of space for Vatira, but Exotic, who's really just treating himself as a battering ram in this first game, closes them down so quickly. No respect being shown to the new team with the new org. Rise clears long, 7 seconds away from overtime in game 1 of this series. Rise to the ceiling, Cassio gets it forward.
Will he?
Depending on this touch. No, there's not going to be one. Overtime in game 1.
He tried it. He really went for that ball. Wanted to keep it up. Felt like that attack could have become something. But instead, we have overtime in this first game. Semper doing a phenomenal job to be taking control, I think, of game number 1. They have been the dominant team, I would say.
Yeah, agreed. I think they've looked slightly more likely to just force a goal. Moist, of course, more likely to force a beautiful goal. Here's Exotic trying to get bumps. Cassio arrives in. Rise. He's the man who has his eyes open right now for Moist, but Chaussette keeps the attack going. Vatira's up against him. I think Chaussette needed that boost in the center, and now Vatira can do what he does best, get it over the top of one of the Semper defenders. It's good goalkeeping coming in from Semper, but how long can they last? The boost is starting to run out. The double taps from Moist are occurring. Here's Rise now, this time. Exotic with that all-important clearance. Vatira will scamper back and save it, but that's the danger for Moist.
Yeah, I thought Vatira was bumped then, but instead he was able to get back. And look at him going for bumps himself on the opposite side of the pitch. Rise being challenged, with Joyo holding that ball very close to his chest. It falls now to Cassio. Seashore sets central, can't quite get too much of a touch with 0 boost, but does manage to eke it away from any Moist player. Good pinch from Chaussette. With Rise going high, Cassio's the one to block it, and he does so. Minute and 15 have gone, and look at Semper continue to take control. Great pass from Exotic central to Chaussette. So many avenues attack opening for Semper.
Yeah, Chaussette's really impressed me so far with both of his performances. His dribbling has been so good. Needs to do more, though, in here. Cassio gets the save across the goal. Brilliant defending in the end from Semper. So close to Moist winning the first game.
Oh, the fact that doesn't go in when I really felt like it was going to. Just Queso now falling on the opposite side of any of these issues. In this stays, good chance for Chaussette to dribble it high. Does manage to get it onto the backboard. Look at Vatira, though, removing Cassio from the play. Means that now when he finds himself back in his own corner, he can get something going. But Cassio with 55 boost. Not too much as Rise bumps him away from that ball. He will steal that back corner. Joyo in the skies. Nothing coming from it. And now 2 minutes elapsed in this game 1 overtime.
Yeah, I think Moist just need to fall back a little bit, pick up some boost, and then rally themselves for the next big push. That could be the starting point. Vatira taking out Chaussette, opening up that space. That was going to the top corner. Almost. It just came off the crossbar. Joe tries to put a pass in the middle, but Chaussette already up, showing so much pace. So it's a little bit stuck in the center here, which means that Rise can come in and go almost for that double tap. So near and yet so far on that attack. A few bumps are going to fly in. It's going to cause some chaos here in defense for Semper. Great read from Joyo as well. Comes to nothing, but they are so unpredictable, these Moist boys.
There are few chances that they're able to get a goal from, and chance for a flip reset Rise, but I think Joyo had like 2 chances to score there on open nets, or at least low defended nets, and really could be a missed opportunity. Cassio, though, pinching that ball towards the open net, with Joyo having to save that one away. Good opportunity on the left-hand side. Exotic picking up the ball in the skies. Does get another touch. His goal participation has been great so far, but Cassio fluffs the shot. No assist for Exotic today.
Cassio could have done a lot more with that. It was a real chance for him to put that one on net. And now Moist can come forward. Rise fakes out Chaussette and Exotic. Brilliant play from Rise. Is that going to open things up? Not quite. Cassio, he took the risk. The last man going in there, but now we have a one-on-one. Chaussette jumping up early. Rise is arriving. He actually fakes out Cassio. Cassio does so well with no boost. Semper have been boosted up for about 2 minutes at this point. So when Moist go high, it's so difficult for Semper to reach them. And they really are now, Stumpy, starting to turn the screw. This could be the moment. Oh, Cassio with another touch.
They had about 20 between them, and Moist had 80 plus for every single player. Really good chance, but Semper's defense holding strong time and time again with Exotic pinching that ball high. Joyo actually fakes out the shot. Vatira sent it high as well. Why was that not on target? Rise is the one to take it low in the end. Joyo up. Chaussette to save away. And with a backflip from Rise, I do not know what's happening with that man today.
Everything from Moist right now except the finish. 4 minutes into overtime, almost an entire other game of Rocket League has been played just to get this first pip on the board. Vatira, double tap attempt to the ceiling. Rise is coming in. Rise is going to finish it right there. It was from Vatira, but it's Rise who wins it.
It took 4 minutes and 17 seconds, but Moist come out on top. Unfortunate that Exotic wasn't able to flip that one away, but it was the pressure from Vatira that forced it central for Rise to be able to score it. Finally, there were chances from both teams to have a better shot than they had. And I think for me, Moist, when you look at the chances they had, they were more clear-cut. They were trying to go for something a bit more than realistically they needed to. They could have just gone for a simple shot, force a save, and then go for one follow-up if there's one keeper. But they do get the game. We can see more from Moist, and I think from Semper, we can see even their midfield play was so wonderful and so fantastic that it held Moist back in so many opportunities. And just a great first game. We had 10 minutes orb in our opener.
Listen, it is, I called it the main stage, but the mainstream, it just makes sense that the most scripted games, the longest games are right here. I just want to say, I love listening in because I'm trying to not laugh because I'm actually hot micing while I'm sitting here. And it's just like hearing Cole just be like, them Moist boys are at it again. And I'm like, esports in 2022 is in an amazing, amazing place. To give you some of the results real quick, okay? BDS won the first matchup against Luminosity 4-2. Obviously, Luminosity coming off of their good sweep there, so it was looking like maybe BDS couldn't hang, but 4-2 in the first game. Vitality wins the first game 2-1 against Liquid. We had Endpoint, I think they're currently down 0-4. Let me check. Yeah. 10 seconds left. They're currently down 4 games. Sorry, 4
games. Wow,
goals.
they really have
Sorry, 4 goals. I meant 4 goals. But there are some of the results.
God, so wow, that is everything happening in Europe right now with Vitality. I'm impressed by them. We're seeing Radosin on their side. Liquid not able to keep up with that, but so far it's Moist being able to take one over Semper. Great touch from Rise. Is he starting to feel it? Shortset is going to cut him down before he gets his answer.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that after their top performance in LA, they've not come back looking a little bit sluggish, like they've already achieved all they want to achieve. Still so much desire, but Semper have some of their own, Stumpy, and Casio from the ceiling gets them their first goal.
Really good fake for Exotic here because Vatira has to respect that. He has to respect that there'll be a wonder shot coming in from the corner. We literally saw Scrub score one earlier on today, and just seeing Vatira have to go near post and work his way out when he can't jump opens it up for Casio entirely. And again, for Semper, an early opening goal.
And a disgusting pre-jump from Exotic as well. He is a man who has absolutely no fear. Casio and Shortset have to figure out how to play around him, which can't be too easy when he plays at such a frantic pace. So to the Moist though, here's Joyo. He has a pass out wide with Rise, goes solo instead, which Shortset just about got the read from. Good defending, and we have a trade. Rise and Casio open up some space for each team, so it's 2v2 for a split second. Shortset wants to pinch this one, but it's Joyo that it falls for.
Yeah, but a good pinch there from to Exotic rather, from the side of Shortset. Pinches from Semper have just been ridiculously fortuitous. Scoring 2 previously when they're playing versus KC, and a pass again, doing wonders with Casio. Chance for a shot, and below the crossbar, he will snipe. Semper are looking absolutely outstanding.
Lovely finish from Casio. Joyo was arriving. I think Joyo would have thought that he had that one covered, but such was the quality of the finish from Casio. Pretty much unstoppable from that position. 2-0 Semper, and this is what we saw from them earlier. They don't look like the most fluid team in the world or the fastest, not the best mechanics, but my goodness, Stumpy, do they know how to score goals.
Yeah, they've done such a good job, and looking at what their opponents are doing with Queso. I'm going to keep saying Queso. I apologize immensely to everybody on Moist.
Casio,
and then I was going to say his opponents in Moist. They will want to have as much control of this game by playing as fast as they possibly can. Hence, their pre-jumps have been absolutely vital. Exotic, mainly, has just been in the right place, right time and time again, and has shut down anything that Moist want to be getting going. But Vatira, he has to open that cupboard of tricks, and he finds a flip reset.
Yeah, but it was Exotic who got the block as well. He just tracked Vatira's run the entire time and just got his car. A big old Fennec right in the way. Semper, when they have a lead, are so difficult to break down. Moist can do it though. We know that they are capable of breaking down pretty much any team in the world right now, but Semper are going to keep on coming. There's Exotic with another shot. They're finding so much space. His shot set to the ceiling now. Going to try and surprise Rise. But Rise finds a little touch out wide towards Exotic. Does he flip reset? Does he just get half a touch? He's going for a forced flip reset there, and I feel like now Semper are having some fun in this series.
They're certainly feeling and looking a lot lighter because they have been the better team. Cassio
brilliant.
able to shoot on an open net thanks to the work done by Shawset in the midfield. Moving forwards, you see him target Rise. And Cassio with a tap in on Aquadome. That is 3, and that is Semper really starting to play a brand new game.
It's also Cassio's second hat-trick of the day. It seems like when he gets one, they come in burst, he gets 1 or 2 more. The belief just flows through his veins. His Shawset now. Semper absolutely feeling this one. Shawset's going to charge down Joyo. It's a nice pass out to Vatira, but his boom is going to be pretty ineffective. It'll get them a little bit of territory. Actually, a lot of territory. It's more effective than perhaps I gave it credit for. Semper find a way out yet again, and one touch from Exotic, and Moist find themselves all the way back.
Shawset's immediately up to pre-jump that, and exactly what I said earlier, Cassio, his positioning was brilliant. He just sat behind Shawset, and you saw he wasn't getting the touch, and so then he is able to challenge Shawset, though bumping Exotic. I'm going to take away a little bit of my praise. Thank you very much, mister.
Well, Rise, what can you do? What can you do, Moist, right now up against Semper? Can you break them down 3 times in the next 1 minute and 35 seconds? That's a good start. Exotic just tries to track Joyo. Vatira with half a touch, but he's not quite sure what to do in that situation when he has 2 goalkeepers just staring at him. Any way you put it, we can be between us, is what Semper Esports are saying right now. Maybe this is what's needed. A nice, fast-paced double attempt from Joyo. Rise has missed. Just not working out from Moist. And it is masterful tactics right now from Semper.
Yeah, it's great gameplay across the board. Semper are taking control of this game. In case we need to wrestle it back, Vatira, look at that air dribble.
Moist.
So smooth. Oh, did I say it again?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I have such a stupid, thick, dullard brain. And I'm really trying my best.
Oh, Vatira tries his best. And unlike Stumpy, he actually gets it through and scores a goal.
Yeah, that's very fair. Great slowdown from Rise. Manages to actually get a touch to Shawset out into the center, but that is exactly where Vatira is lurking, a player for Moist Esports.
Hey, there it is. Woo! 51 seconds left, 2 goals needed. Semper have been so good defensively all day. Can Moist change that? Lovely touch from Joyo. Cassio is all alone. He's actually not alone at all. There's no one there. It's 2-3.
When it rains, it pours, and Moist are certainly starting that off. Look at that dive in from Vatira to remove the keeper from the net. Joyo again on an opener. And Moist are feeling so at home now here on Aquadome.
Semper, you had it all in the palm of your hands, but now your metal is well and truly being tested. Suddenly, Moist are looking like the Queso of old, the team that is so dangerous and can take the fight to anyone. Exotic, though, is going to win this one cleanly. Joyo is waiting. He has passing options. Vatira to his right, Rise to his left, goes solo. Who's going to be the player to help him out? Shawset's pre-jumping. It's faked underneath him. Vatira, if he can get a good 50-50, it could be 3-all. Not quite just yet. Rise can't beat Shawset to that one. Joyo already has 100 boost. And Shawset, brilliant dribbling to get that one away.
Yeah, good opportunities, though, for Vatira to continue down the pitch. The catch from Joyo, actually, see Shawset drawn out towards that ball. Vatira removing one. The shot away from Cassio. We're finding it back in the blue net. Moist have to start all over again. Joyo with a miss. And Semper bring the series back to 1-all.
Semper, amazing play from them to get that victory and keep the series well and truly alive. It was nerve-wracking for them, though, I think. In that last 30 seconds, Orb, they would have gone from feeling like they had the whole world in their hands to just panic stations.
Things can quickly change, all right, in a professional game of Rocket League. I want to point out and say professional game of Rocket League because now when there's less matches to keep track of, I've been looking a little bit in the Rocket League chat, you know, our chat, and somebody asked, what rank is this? And I just want to make a point that this is professional Rocket League, which is like what rank? Like gold and up? Like what are we talking?
Like silver 2.
I mean, yes, no, but that's correct. Gold and up. It is.
I guess technically, technically that is correct. Just wanted to let you know, Twitch chat member, this is professional Rocket League that we're watching. All right, Semper is spawning a little bit. Interesting to see. I love that Moist was like at the edge of it. I say Moist. CEO founder Moist, critical. He was getting into it. All right, he was getting excited for what's to come. Love to see it. Now for some results. Okay, BDS is up 2. Well, it's 2-1 in the series now. Luminosity maybe waking up a little bit. We have Vitality who's up 2-0. It's currently 1-1. in their game 3. And then we have Endpoint currently in a tied game that just went to overtime. Obviously, Solar is up by 1 game.
If anybody wants to watch those series as well, you can. You're able to go and Google any of these team names, look at Twitch, and see where they are streaming, because there are so many casters and personalities, and everybody's showing the games off. But here on the main channel, on twitch.tv/Rocket League and on YouTube, we are seeing Moist open up the scoring in just 5 seconds.
Keeping up that Aquadome momentum are Moist in the 3rd game. Early lead for them. Semper, what can you do when you're chasing? We all know you can hold a lead, just about, in the last one. When you actually have to force the issue, this is what they can do. They certainly can play that way and equalize instantly.
Cassio just shooting so strong today. He sees that Vatira has to immediately jump. Vatira has to pre-jump. He's only just come round from being bumped. And so if Cassio shoots it high, he has a great chance of scoring. Sends it in the middle of the net. Just really nice, solid placement.
Good start to this 3rd game all round. Exciting stuff. Couple of goals flying in early doors. Exactly what you want to see to open things up. As Rise trying to open up the Semper defense. Rise is going to wait for this one. How much boost does he have is the question. Enough to do something with. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But Chaussette was stopping in either way. A rare miss from Vatira. And Rise has to help out before Exotic manages to get the easiest finish of his life right there. More good speed from Cassio. He has definitely been the player who is making a claim for himself, being Semper's MVP right now. So involved for Semper as Chaussette comes forward yet again.
Yeah, and Cassio, that was his 10th goal of the day, and we've seen him in 2 series so far. He's done phenomenally well. Seeing as also, we saw him make so many errors early on versus MKC. He had weird positional mistakes, he was just playing a bit strangely, and it just wasn't working. Turning that around in such a short span of time is so professional of him.
Chaussette on the backboard wants to get a massive clearance and does. It just scraped the ceiling, which you want to avoid, but it had enough angle on it to not do too much damage to the clearance, and then Chaussette continues to cause so much damage to Moist's defense right there. Cassio is just given time by Vatira to make sure his touch can't just pinch awkwardly into the goal. We've seen a few Semper pinches go in.
I have a result to share. News Orb is here. We have Vitality, who just confirmed swept in their series. They are currently the only team to have swept in this round.
Wow. Thank you, Newsorb. Big news, massive news there with Newsorb. And they swept Liquid as well, a team that they've only just made it back onto these main events, and they've got a very young roster, so hopefully the mentality won't be too shook by that in the long run. But thank you very much, Newsorb.
Getting some hype, Liquid. Anyway, we continue here. Vatira trying to finish that one. It's looking good for Moist right now. Speaking of Liquid, they're just putting themselves more into this 3rd game after conceding straight away after getting that 1st goal. They're looking good. They're looking fluent. I was about to say fluid. Yeah, no, shouldn't say that. Joy over touch. Into the corner goes he. 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touches. Exotic just watching it all the way. This is Semper back in their more natural form. Just trying to hold off their opponents at arm's length for as long as they possibly can do. Rise trying to break that one down. Eventually, you feel Semper will clear this ball away. Doesn't seem to be too much incision in the Moist attack, but Rise's demo on Chaussette could change that. Rise is coming in now. Chaussette recovered, and Chaussette just prods it away.
Vatira desperately with 0 boost just wanted somebody to come in on that ball, but every just a touch too far away. Look at the pre-jumps from Semper again. It's everybody just goes up for these balls, and it's something that you do not see very often, working time and time again. But Queso, that is clearly their downfall. And the Semper seem to have a real knack for seeing which touch is the genuine touch and which one, is that final touch that they will be making. Because they aren't committing too early to these pre-jumps either.
At risk of the biggest caster curse ever, they seem somewhat unfakeable to Semper. You're completely right, Stumpy. They just have that sixth sense of when it is that Moist are actually going to pull the trigger, and it's working so well for them. They can swallow up all of this pressure. Now they have a chance of their own. Exotic tries to put it away. What a sucker punch that would have been.
1 minute 20 remains, and it's still even in this game with Moist Joyo unable to clear that one away too convincingly. It remains in that blue half. Chaussette lurking on the halfway line, and what a man he has been. Pre-jumping maestro we have seen from him in this series so far. Joyo into the corner with Exotic, sends it low. He can then meet up with it again on that left-hand side. He just continues going, and Rise is called into action.
Yeah, Semper just trying to break through Moist. When they do, suddenly they look very dangerous, and not rushing that either. Moist have to show some patience of their own. If they get frustrated and rush this, then Semper are going to punish them the same way they punished Karmine Corp in the last round. Rise has missed it. Vatira's coming in. Beats Chaussette this time, but there's just 2 Semper defenders right there. Exotic, a great touch as well. That is so difficult to judge. He's managed to do it. Vatira, does he have to pass? No, again. Cassio closing him down so quickly, and now you can see he's got no boost, but it doesn't matter. He's got ball control.
Final 25 seconds with Joyo relinquishing control from that
Great
ball,
touch.
and Cassio demoing another. This falls awkwardly central. Final 15. Can Rise get this clear away and into a shooting position? He gets over 1. Joyo is able to go on to it next. Rise to shoot, but he just can't quite get his car around that ball. The final 5 is still a push, though, from Moist. Can he get that ball central? He cannot. And Cassio to the floor. That ball stays up with 0.01 of a second left. He steals that back boost as well. This ball stays aerial. Exotic, central. Vatira has to get the touch. Can. Touch central from Chaussette, and Cassio, off the back of that, will win the game for Semper.
Semper, wow, they do it their own way. They just hold and they grind and they never concede, and then they get one chance at 0 seconds. Semper Esports 2-1 up, 1 game away from taking the series.
In a series that nobody thought they would be able to take, Semper have grabbed the horn of the bull and they are riding them into the sunset. That is such a well-managed series so far. They just need 1 more to close it out.
The pain from the Moist boys. So close, yet so far away. Let's see how it all shapes up. We have Solari currently 2-0, my friends. 2-0 in the series against Endpoint. It's currently 1-1 here in game number 3. BDS was on track. It's currently now 3-3. They were on track to beat out Luminosity. They are up 2-1 in the series. 35 seconds ago. Maybe it's an overtime. Maybe one team can close it out. But it's listen, it's almost like it's an upper quarters, and it's like really intense action all around. It's almost like every matchup is going to be hard to predict. But listen, how is chat feeling about their 92% prediction for Moist?
Probably not brilliant right now, you know. But that's the beauty of Rocket League, and also the beauty of Rocket League. If anyone here has not been watching this esport over the last few years, maybe doesn't even know the fundamentals of the game. That 0 second goal, you'll see a lot of those. 0 seconds, the game not ending till the ball touches the ground. The most exciting moments in Rocket League happen right then. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's exactly where we will all lose our collective minds as and when that happens on LAN, inevitably in London.
Cannot wait. But to get there, Stumpy, you have to win series like this, and Semper are showing that they are more than capable of grinding out a series or 2. Still in this upper bracket, still in this lead in this series. Semper have to be favourites at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Semper have looked like a team that aren't respecting what Moist are capable of, and I absolutely back them for doing that. I think that's exactly what they need to do, and it's how they need to do it. They're going about this series how I'm sure every team would want to. Again, just shooting on target. Cassio sees that Rise is grounded, and so sends that shot high, but with Vatira a chance to get a touch, he was utterly unchallenged and wasn't able to.
Yeah, Moist looking very, very shaken now. Joyo's missing it as well, and Vatira have managed to recover and dribbles that one away. Good dribbling from him, actually. Cassio was almost too close to get that one, but just about managed to recover. And this is where I want to see that next level from Semper, actually. I want to see them punish Moist. Not just hope to get a goal eventually. I want them to force it. I want them to take some risks and really try and just make the most of this opportunity to beat the Moist team.
I mean, it's Moist as well, I'm sure. You know, it's a brand new pickup. We saw earlier that the guys from Moist are sitting on a sofa watching this together. They must be really testing the limits of that sofa, the edge of the seat, where they are just really wearing that down. They must have an inch of themselves still on that sofa, because it is so intense when you see brand new teams get picked up. There's a lot of pressure. There's so much that you need to live up to. And you have to consider what that does to players and also to the people that pick them up, because this is a risk all around, and a very, very good risk, may I say.
So close right there. Semper have had a couple of fortunate pinches of their own, but that one from Moist almost broke the Semper net. Brilliant air dribbling there from Joyo. Chaussette reaching it, clearing it, getting a touch. Moist come again, Rise onto the backboard this time, trying to mix up their approach. Exactly what they need to do. Can't just air dribble everything. The Semper are just hacking at every single ball that comes in their near vicinity. and surviving. Rise has a go this time. He gets it over 1, but there's Cassio and there's Chaussette. They're just playing so deep and so defensively, and Moist don't really have an answer at the moment. I'm thinking more dribbles. I'm thinking try and attract a Semper defender on and win that 50-50.
Good boost grab from Chaussette, keeps it away from that attacking player. Vatira there has to return and clear it back into the corner with Rise finding Joyo. That is high, and with 2 players sent from Semper, it's an opportunity for Moist to be able to take a shot. No, as Exotic, the man who has been so integral, such a key part of this Semper jigsaw. Clear that ball away. Does get removed from the pitch, though. Chance now for Moist to get a shooting opportunity. Does miss, and Joyo down into the net.
Semper had a chance on one end. When it went away, Cassio was completely isolated, and going up on the back wall is so tricky because you cannot go over the goal. If you do that, you'll fall into it. That's why Cassio had to go wide, and it made it really tricky for him. And credit to Moist. I mean, they made the most of that play. 3-on-1, and they got their goal.
Chance for Vatira to go for another dribble here. Trying to just have that pinch central, but instead managed well by Cassio to keep it going into the corner. Rise, look at that patience. Somewhere earlier, he may well have jumped in to try and just get the block earlier on. Instead, he lets Cassio go for a little dribble, and then he goes to attack him, using the slow down tactic that Semper have been using so fantastically against them.
Exotic, good touch past Joyo as a pass into the center if he can find Cassio. It just bounced off that back wall, agonizingly close there for Semper. Moist gets away with yet another one. Exotic this time wants to find Cassio, but it's closed off by Rise. He does more than that as well. Joyo, can he get onto the end of this ball? He's here. Both players want to take control of it. Chaussette is taken out of the game by Rise, and it was a brilliant demo on his way back. Moist looking a lot stronger after that opening goal.
Yes, absolutely. Making sure that they're able to just work their way back into this series, because you look at their performance in winter and you look at their major and then you look at the level of EU behind them. They have to have thought, we're the best team coming into Europe, but they need to stay humble and they need to realize that there are other teams that will be beating them every now and then. It very rarely happens that one team wins every single event that they're going to be taking part in. You know, it's not BDS time anymore.
All right, well, maybe they'll get back to that level with Seiko. We'll have to see. Looking forward to seeing them coming up against so many teams. But Moist, they have the lead. All they have to do is hold on to it just for a little bit longer. Can they do it? Chaussette sends it long again. This is where perhaps Semper's lack of creativity can come back to bite them, and they have to really force the issue like this. Rise is closed down by Exotic. Joy then loses the 50-50. Chaussette's coming in. Chaussette is surely going to equalize. No creativity needed. Just push the ball faster than your opponents.
Completely open on the equalizer, and Exotic was there as the backup plan. He could have got a bumper at demo, but he didn't need to. Dribbled in by Chaussette from the incredibly strong midfield 50, and with 30 seconds left, Moist need to maintain their composure. Can Rise get anything from that side wall? With Joyo sending it low as a chance. Exotic now goes high and far. It is very nervy times as Moist just let it slip at the death.
Semper survived their panic in game 2. Now it's Moist trying to survive a panic of their own. Chaussette, an old school dribble from him. Goes towards Joyo, who goes over the top, just sending grenades over into the opposition defense right now. Rise on the back wall. Does he go for it? No, he leaves it, leaving it for Vatira. There's a pass there. Joyo's there. Can he finish it right now? And this time it's Moist that have their own 0-second victory.
Opportunity seized by Moist. Vatira selflessly sending it central, and below the crossbar, victory is found. Moist, they bring it back after what was starting to look like a potentially shaky game on Utopia.
Game 5, or that's what we love. We love Game 5s, however they happen. And when they happen with 2 0-second goals, I think, in a row, then we are absolutely laughing.
Listen, you love to see it, okay? You love to see it. It's gotta be a Game 5 when we're talking the mainstream. And of course, obviously the boys team, I think it's gotta be, I think this is the perfect, essentially, the perfect ending so far for the upper quarters. Now, for some results, you know, I like to update the people on what's going on. We had BDS beating out Luminosity 3-1 in the series. The last game ending 5-4 in BDS favor. So very, very close up until the end. We currently have Solary is up 2-1 versus Endpoint. It's currently 1-1 in their game number 4. And of course, Vitality went ahead and swept Liquid. So those are the results. Those are the results so far. The action is heating up. we got more in store for you guys. Guys, we also want to push to you guys, as we have throughout today's broadcast, the team streams, okay? This is only the main broadcast. We have team streams for every single team. So you got a team in mind. You got a team you root for. Maybe a team you're interested in checking out if they got it. If they got what it takes, then the team streams is the location for that, all right? So just go on Twitch, look up your favorite team, check out their team stream. But we're going to head into Champions Field. Game 5 brought to you by Dacia. Soon, as the players are ready. It's going to be an interesting, I love this. This is going to be an interesting finish to the upper corners. Wouldn't you say, Stumpy?
Yeah, I mean, game 5s are where Moist/Queso, this being the first series, that is where they thrive. And here on Champions Field, in game 5, brought to you by Dacia. I've stolen your line there, Rob. I do apologize. This is where Moist are trying to continue their 10-win streak in series winning games.
It's incredible all the way throughout the LA Major. As soon as then Queso got to a deciding game, you just had this feeling they were going to win it. But it's different here. The atmosphere is different. They're playing back at home. It's online again. It's a brand new Semper team. Everything has changed, but will we see consistent victors in this 5th game?
Everything's changed, but it's the same old Joyo, Rise, and Vatira. And that is so physical to start off this game as well on Champions Field. Vatira going for a catch after being demoed and seeing demos around him. You mentioned grenades earlier on, Cole. They were being chucked down range by Semper into that blue half. A miss from Shorset does see Cassia having to pick up the slack. Final 50 boost from Vatira. Does see a miss and rise up for the double, but Shorset, that position on the sidewall completely shutting down the movement from Moist.
Shorset has to be careful on that backboard, though. I think he's already conceded a goal for his team, missing from there, and then almost doing the same again just now. So a potential weak point in that Semper defense that I'm sure Moist, with their coach as well, would have been keeping an eye on. There's Vatira there into the corner. Exotic attempts to close him down, actually decides against him, then gets a couple of touches. But Rise saw it happening, and Semper can keep on coming. Good play from Semper. They seem to have turned this 5th game into a battle from the off, as you mentioned, Stumpy, and I don't think they'll mind that at all.
Yeah, not whatsoever. I think this is going to be a battle from both teams where Moist, I feel, might consider this as, look, let's win this in 4. Let's win this in 3 even. And a wide shot may well see them taking the lead in the 5th. It does bounce nicely as Rise then backflips, and Joyo opening up the scoring on Champions Field.
Yeah, it looked a little bit wayward, the defending there from Shorset again. He was in his own goal and just flopped past it. Rise just backflips completely. I think he'll be so relieved to see out of his windscreen his teammate approaching to put that one away himself. These players may be starting to get a little bit tired. We could see some mistakes in this 5th game, which always makes things more interesting, if you ask me. But it's Moist who take advantage of the first.
Yeah, really good opportunity from Moist there. Just pushing up. Despite the error, they were still able to get the goal from it. And that's going to be huge for them. Vatira going for a pre-jump, and Shorset absolutely toying with him. Sees that he goes for it. He's read that book back to front, and he knows that he can just go low with the ball. Rise with a long shot. Shorset into the corner, but with Vatira receiving, it's not as safe as he may well have thought. Shorset going for one of the most disastrous own goals I have ever seen in my life.
Well, he was going to dribble it away quite happily, and then all of a sudden Cassia was just saying, I'll stay still. I'm going to stay still. I'll stay still. I'll stay still. I'll stay still. Just that was like, get off the road, get off the road, get off the road. Next thing you know, the ball's on his roof. He just backflips, Stumpy. He just flips back. Balls in the goal is 2-0.
Moist is exactly what they needed just to bring them back, mentally into the series. They know that they're in game 5. Seeing one like that may well make it a lot more lighthearted as well, because that is one that will be dented in the memory of Semper, especially if they end up losing.
Semper have to just laugh it off immediately and go next. That is all you can do in this situation. And to their credit, they seem to have done so, as Exotic is trying to get a few bumps on that backboard. Shorset wants to get involved, gets half a touch, but it's still towards Joe, who's then met by Rise. Nice pre-jump attempt from the corner. Exotic is the player that it falls for. Now, Semper, they're climbing a mountain, don't get me wrong, but they do still have time. 2 minutes is an absolute age in this beautiful esport that we call Rocket League.
Yeah, and they have a lot of opportunities until Vatira comes and slams it home, taking to the skies. He ends up getting that flip reset, and Rise with the backup plan keeps Exotic grounded and will get it on target.
New org, same old result in game 5s or game 7s. They just seem to have ice in their veins when it comes to these all-important games. Joyo is showing his freestyle history right there. Underneath the ball, spinning around it, trying to open things up even more. They want more goals. This is the true version of Moist. Here's Rise, tries to find Vatira, beats Exotic, but Exotic manages to force the ball wide, at least for now.
The chance for Semper to try and get something going, as they've been so competitive throughout this series so far, to let it slip after that one goal until Joyo takes to the skies. It is stolen by Rise, but with Moist, there is always thunder.
Oh, Joyo, you thought you had that one with your little pirouettes in the sky, but Rise is saying, nah, I'll put it away. I'll make it 4. An absolute waltz for Moist in this deciding game. I mean, this is where their recent experience in the highest pressure situations of them all. You know, the bracket reset versus G2, going to game 7, getting that deciding goal with 4 seconds left. When you're in a normal game 5 and a regional, it suddenly seems easy. That's how these teams build their momentum.
And they're so new to this as well. They don't have that veteran ability just yet, but they're so not carefree in a negative way whatsoever. But they are carefree. They know that they are in this to vibe around and be the best Rocket League players in Europe at any given moment, and they do it so wonderfully. They go into these series knowing that they can win, and Rise continues to score yet another goal for him, his second, matching Vatira now in this game. It is 5-0. It is just error after error for Semper, and you have to look back and see that it may well have originated from Shoreset's own goal.
It's turning into a complete and utter Moist saunter at this point, which is a shame because Semper are not showing the quality of team that they are, particularly in defense in this 5th game. You know, they are playing like they're heartbroken, and for a team that relies so much on their solidity, it's a bit of a shame to see it happen like this, but this is a new roster, Stumpy, and losses like this will be important for them as well with Exotic instead of Archie. Yeah,
it's absolutely character building for them, but what an incredible achievement this is already for Moist. You know, coming out of winter, they didn't make fall, bear in mind. They went to winter, they came second, they were the best EU team there by a long shot. They went toe-to-toe with G2. They managed to go to their second series. They lost it in 6 in the end, and they have scored 6 goals here. The final 15 seconds will count down as an absolute courtesy. Welcome Moist Esports to Rocket League, to the RLCS. It is everything they could have dreamed for and more. And we wish them every bit of luck as they go through the rest of this bracket.
When the pressure is on, you have to play at your best, and Moist just consistently play at their very, very best when it matters the very, very most. A huge, resounding Game 5 win there for Moist Esports. They take it 6-0 in what, if you've just tuned in, was actually a very, very close series.
All right. Well, I mean, 6-0. I'm thinking back. Stumpy, you said that was the worst own goal you've seen. Was that essentially like the early nail in the coffin? Essentially for like...
I think it was.
I don't know, the detrimental to the mental game of Semper.
Yeah, I think you look at that moment where Semper were being the better team, or were at least, you know, the level team at that point with Moist, and just... it was an error, and it was Shoreset just wanting to get rid of the ball. He knew it was in a dangerous position. He had to put it somewhere. His backflip, theoretically, could have sent it above the bar, and that would have been fine. It would have moved on, and it would have been okay. That was his intention. Instead, he just lazily backflips it into his own goal with literally zero pressure on him, and then Moist end up scoring 4 more.
I mean, obviously I wasn't in those comments, but I imagine that the real problem was that I reckon that Shoreset and Cassio were blaming each other. Cassio was saying, why were you driving towards me? Shoreset was thinking, why weren't you moving out my way? And because there's that question of whose fault was it, it's much more difficult, in my opinion, to move on from, because it's impossible not to be thinking, it was his fault though, right? Like, he should have moved out the way. Yeah, but he shouldn't have backflipped.
Communication is key. All right, communication is key. And now I'm here to communicate that we have to go on a break. We got to pay some bills around here. Make sure the show keeps on going. The upper quarters is finished, and we're going to jump into lower round 1, EG versus Misfits, right after this. Please stick around.
I've had 1,000 dreams of you, like scenes I do like. I stop counting, feels I could try. I should try. Hold my breath, I won't make you wait. You're mine for the taking. My eyes on your shapes. You're mine for the taking. Take me where your monsters hide. They don't dance in the daylight. Look down, you've got me so high. I think it's safe to say I'm scared. I think it's safe to say I'm I think it's safe to say I'm got me blinded by the what ifs, times I did miss. Broke the silence, perfect timing. Sun is shining. Sunday morning, a house on the lake, far from LA. I'm not the type to obey. I'm not the one you can tame. Yeah, let's get lost in my ways. Ooh, take me where your monsters hide. They don't dance, they don't dance in the daylight. Look down, you've got me so high. I think it's safe to say I'm scared. I think it's safe to say I'm I think it's safe to say I'm
I can feel this tide choke my neck and I just wonder why I'm buried in a suit I'd never buy, a suit I'd never buy. Cufflinks on my wrist, I can't act surprised when the shovels hit dirt in the earth. Did they start to cry? been looking for a place to make me be.
Bright and early for the daily races. Going nowhere, going nowhere. I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad when people run in circles. It's a very, very mad
All right, and we are back with the Dacia Spring Cup. We are here for the lowers round 1, and I'm joined with some familiar faces. We got Shogun, we got Gregan on the desk, ready to cast for you guys. Let's take a look at the bracket right away so we can speed up. I hear the players are essentially ready for us to speed through this, get this show on the road. Gregan, thoughts on the previous matches? Maybe you've been watching in the sidelines a little bit. Any big upsets that you see or any games that come to mind?
Well, there's upsets always in Europe. And in the first round, I'd say it was pretty much 50-50 on upsets and expected results. As you can see, the general trend was the teams we expected to win, like BDS, did do well. Luminosity did do well. But then you got stuff like Misfits down in the lower bracket. Evil Geniuses in the lower bracket. But I think the real big upset is Solary beating Dignitas. I think we're going to be wondering what Dignitas are capable of now. They're on a downward trend as a team. And it seems like this tournament has not set them up well for the rest of the spring split.
Shogun, now the hardest matchup coming up here in lower round 1.
Oh, I think we're on it, to be honest, mate. I think EG Misfits is horrible, but we also see Dignitas over there against Wild. The good news for Dignitas is that they've kind of got used to these lower bracket runs throughout this season. But this one, I'm looking forward to. I'm fairly certain Jorby isn't. I already know that he's doing the, the official hype party over there for them. And this is probably not the day he was hoping for, but this should be a banger.
Listen, Jorby always gets super amped when he's casting for Misfits. So we also want to push for the team streams as always, okay? Obviously, this matchup, the Misfits one, you can watch here on the main broadcast, but the other 3 are available at their respective channels. Do a little Twitch search, find out where your favorite team is playing from, and go show some love. You already know, we got to get our predictions in before the matchup begins. So the Dacia fan vote is now up. Get your hashtags in. Exclamation point or hashtag EG, hashtag MSF. Support your favorite team. Who do you think got this one, chat? We're looking at you. All right. They got like 92% before. They were narrowly correct, but 92% still correct. Shogun, let's start with you. Your prediction for this matchup.
I'm going to go EG on this one. I'm still thinking that they're playing.
Jorby is going to be disappointed.
Be happy. Oh, Jorby's always disappointed with me, okay? It doesn't really make any difference on this one. By the way, highly recommend, as Orb said, listen to these streams because there's something fun about listening to teams that are winning. There's something more fun about listening to casters that are watching their team's final lives.
Ooh.
So if there's ever a time, this is certainly it. But I also think this is EG's time to shine.
All right, EG for Shogun. Gregan, what about you? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
I think Misfits are a stronger team when they're playing well, and I just don't think they're playing well right now. In the closed qualifier, they scraped through on Game 5 and weren't happy with their performance. They didn't look good in the first round, and they're up against Evil Geniuses, who've just come off of the LA Major, looking solid there. So I think Evil Genius is going to take it here, but honestly, it could go either way. These two teams are so balanced in their storylines and their ability to play, so let's see what happens.
All right, let's get the fan vote results in. Chat says 74% for EG on this one. All right. Well, let's see who's got what it takes, okay? Are you going to be on Team Jorby? And listen, I always want to root for Jorby, okay? He's such a good guy. He's a wholesome guy, okay? Every time I talk to him, he's happy. So for him, I really want this to go Misfits' way, to be honest. That's going to be my prediction for Jorby. Jorby alone.
All right, well, certainly hear that. I'm kind of up for it as well, mostly because if Misfits do lose this, we have to deal with the 30-minute rant from Jorby tomorrow before the show goes live. So there is certainly part of me that would like Misfits to take it, but I also appreciate being right more often than that. So here we go, game number 1. Both teams have got their tournament lives on the line. You lose this, you are out, and you are out with not very many RLCS points to your name and a very uphill battle to climb as you go into the second 2 tournaments of this split.
Yeah, this format is incredibly brutal. 2 lives and that's it. If you win the first round, you start making it so much easier for yourself, as we're seeing those teams that are now in the top 6 just from winning the first 2 games. It compounds so quickly, winning that first game, the second game, third game, and that's what these teams really need to aim for. And both these teams are going to be upset. They're in the lower bracket right now, but they don't care about that. All they care about is beating their opposition in front of them. Both these teams deserve to be further in the tournament, but one of them will have to go home after this.
Yeah, both of them will be very upset to have found each other in the very first round of the lower bracket. That's just how things are at the moment. Europe continues to be stacked with top teams all over the place. As Ivan can't get the ball too far, but it is over to Rizek, and what a drop there from Matane, just onto the ball. Gets his team a nice way out of the position they were in, and an awkward bounce. Catalysm doesn't react too badly to it, though, but the ball is loose, and Rizek will see it away.
Interesting there in the middle there, Arju just trying to fly up and take as much time as possible, but I think he needed to be a little bit more patient. I'm just watching the way these guys are playing quite closely, and it is a little bit panicky, which you'd expect in a lower bracket first game against a team that you expect to beat. But Arju didn't need to jump there, but his instinct was to go, which is not a good sign for Misfits as they take a shot. Matane, top left corner, can't get more perfect.
It looked like a difficult angle, and I can tell you it certainly was. But Matane happy to take on the challenge. Gets it into the top corner, and that's the perfect start for Misfits.
Superb patient from Cash there. He saw Ivan jumping off the backboard, not much control on the ball, waited for him to lose control, pinged it off the corner, obviously called it nice and early for Matane as he was up so fast there. And a great start for Misfits. Evil Geniuses, though, they need to get back in control of that ball. It's been a little bit rushed from everybody on the pitch.
But you sort of alluded to it earlier as well, Gregan, that Misfits, they don't need to go all out in pace for a matchup like this. Evil Geniuses won't try that game against them. So if they can just slow it down a little bit and play the potential all that EG will want to as the infield pass comes in. Oh my goodness! 2 players dived, but it was one that was needed to get rid of it. What a play and what a save.
Evil Genius is one of those teams that seem to outperform the individual players' abilities. You know, they're so good as a team, the way they work together, the way they pass, the way they create space for each other with their bump plays. And that's a great example of it right there, that infield pass, but it was saved away by Cash, just diving across the net. And that's where we see those players like Cash. They're the real danger players in this lobby. If Cash is playing well, he can win a series just for his team.
You want Cash playing as well, not only just because he's such a great talisman for your team, but just for his mental as well. If he's got that level of gameplay, you know he's going to be feeling good. And he's not, however. It can affect him more than most. As Arju now up into the air. 4 boost, not really much of a chance to get past the first defender, but does set up his team well to keep the onslaught going. Cash takes his time, looks for the block. Unfortunately, he was setting up for the block on the wrong person. It is taken away. 1-0 still. Misfits riding that first goal. It is still only best of 5, so first game can end up being absolutely huge as Matane just tries to test the goalkeeper. No real threat from there.
Yeah, looking a little bit out of control on the ball here, especially Ivan. I've watched him take control of it a few times and not really make much of that play. You know, we see the likes of Moist now being one of those top-tier teams, showing how important on-the-ball control is to break down your opposition. You cannot rely in modern Rocket League on just a 50-50 game all the way through. You have to be able to outplay multiple players in one go. And that's why we mention players like Cash, because they've got that real fear factor. When we see Evil Geniuses playing well, it comes down to Catalysm really popping off in those individual moments. But right now, we've not seen anything from Evil Geniuses that will scare Misfits.
Yeah, it has been a little bit scrappy at times, but nobody messing up at the key moments. As we do see off the backboard, they're forced to jump. Cash isn't going to score one easier than that today.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. Moments like this from Matane, goes to the flip reset, takes out 2 players with it. It's going to be no easier than any shot you've ever taken in your life. Cash sending that one home, 2-0 Misfits, and you can just see the stagnation in Evil Geniuses opening up these opportunities for Misfits to outplay them. It's going to be a bit of a rush offense now to try and equalize in the final stages.
And Rizek just couldn't get around that ball. Catalysm now tasked with trying to find a way for his team back into this. 35 seconds ticking away against them. Maybe yet another one here. Cash off the backboard. Where's the follow? Catalysm had to be there, but he now needs support. Ivan almost turned around the wrong way. Made him a little later to get towards it, but Misfits have found their rhythm. They've found a tone that they want to set throughout this series. An important series as that. Cash booms the ball downfield. That'll do it. Game 1 for Misfits.
Evil Geniuses just trying to force a goal in these final moments, overcommitting a little bit. We don't mind that in Rocket League. These teams have to try and win the game. They don't care if they lose 3-0, 2-0, 4-0 at this stage. They're trying to force that last-minute goal. They're going to be thinking about this next game. Evil Geniuses do need to adapt and change here. They are not showing any outplay potential against Misfits. That needs to change.
What a performance this has been by Misfits, a team that we've wanted to see something big from the longest time. This would not be a result that would really indicate that they've got towards it. So they need to start picking up some wins, start picking up some higher up results, and try their hardest to qualify for the major. Both these teams tend to be on the verge of qualification and not, so this is a huge series for both of them.
Yeah, what's going on the rest of the matches, or have you seen any big results?
Well, do we have a big result? We have Dig beating out Wild, a whole 6-0. A whole 6-0 for Dig against Wild. Maybe not that big of an upset, but that is the result for game number 1. Karmine Corp is currently up 1 to BS competition. Wolves Esport beat SK Gaming 1-0. Now, I wanted to mention something with SK Gaming, because you said Fruity for SK Gaming, he plays keyboard and mouse. Is that right, Gregan?
He does, yeah. He's a bit of a veteran of the scene. You know, one of the players in this event that will have won a LAN event. You know, not many players who've won LANs pre-COVID era still compete at the top. Fruity winning DreamHack back in the day. He's a keyboard and mouse player. He's very experienced, one of the older players as well. And he streams all the time. And it's great seeing players like him come back in, put that work in, being out the scene for a year plus, I would say. We haven't seen him for a while. To come back in, make his way in this tournament. And he's done it again with 2 French players. He seems to find himself as a Danish man with 2 French players on his team. And he seems to be doing quite well with SK.
I mean, just a quick question. I mean, how many pro players play keyboard and mouse? Do you have a rough number, the exact number?
Less than one. I'd say less than 1%. It's literally like Fruity, Steak just leaving K Corp to go play for Williams Resolve, who didn't quite make this event. You also got Yukio on Heroics, who didn't make the event as well. And then in OCE, it's a little bit more common. Some of the best players in OCE, is it Torsos, I think is?
Yeah, Torsos was.
Yeah, and so the keyboard and mouse is a little bit more prevalent there. But yes, controller mostly, and we're seeing here the start a bit neutral from both teams, as we'd expect from Evil Genius's game plan. You know, they don't tend to overcommit very easily. They try and break teams down slowly. But like we said in that last game, they need to find something, a little bit of flair to take out these Misfits players.
For now, Misfits don't need to overextend. They're not trying to go too quickly. Already mentioned just how good individually Catalysm can be, but off the demo, Arju can slot it in, finding so much success from these wide angles.
What we're seeing a lot of success from now in Rocket League, and in particular teams like G2 and V1 over in North America, is the place you want to be fastest in Rocket League is on the way out of the play, because you can get those demos, you can get those boost steals, you can threaten those quick turns on the ball, and right there, that bump opened up the slot to be able to score the goal.
Total Rocket League, make sure everybody in offense is involved in the play. Now doing exactly that, taking their opportunities. Again, Misfits just never feel like they're getting caught out. They haven't been caught on any counterattacks because every time they try it, they're scoring. You need to worry beyond that as we now go off the backboard. Double tap attempted.
Cash,
and you knew Cash was going to score it the moment he got that first hit.
Again, Arju quick to rotate out. He makes that little 50-50 play, and as he's rotating out, the keepers are worried about getting bumped. It opens up the space for Cash, and Misfits are playing off this rotate out meta so well. Misfits are looking dangerous.
Just so clean at the moment. And unfortunately for EG, they need to get this one to become a little bit more scrappy, knock Misfits off their game. Huge clear, Metane's got time, but couldn't get to there quick enough. Catalysm, though, just misses it unless he was called off. He's still the target man, try and get it ball downfield. Metane now sets himself up. Catalysm has to get over, just goes over the top. Arju once more off the backboard. Can they get it set up one more? Not quite this time around. But this is Misfits pace. And so far, they are playing it to perfection.
Oh, this is an opportunity here for Catalysm off the back wall. Tries to go for the double, doesn't quite get it. Ivan sends it home. Finally, a bit of creativity from Evil Geniuses. And it comes from that bump from Rizex. Opens up the initial space. Causes the scramble. And Evil Geniuses get their first goal. Seems like they're finally in the mindset of we need to try and score rather than just hold them off.
And it was a very similar sort of goal that they've been conceding so far. Get those demos, can get another one here. Rizex has got options around, but didn't help himself out with that first hit. Matter of fact, that it was so scrappy there. Everyone seems a bit thrown off. Ivan shot straight over to Mitane. The pressure they're being put on. That was awkward. No real power on it, so it was difficult for the players to really clear. Off the backboard again and again. However, no goal scores or scored by it. Oh, the Mitane almost found the next Vanguard, and defenders had to wait and see.
That's the strategy now, isn't it? Is if you find yourself in a position where you get that high percentage touch, you think, okay, that's great, we can do that all day long, but go for those low percentage touch knowing that your teammate probably is going to miss it. It will still throw off your opponents. It's that faking, everyone calls out faking when they miss, and it does work. It does work against top players. They expect you to hit the ball, so when you don't, they react to it as if you are.
It's gone from a meme in 2016 to a legit strategy, because we've seen these players progress. We know that you can hit those shots as Ivan fakes out. It's just the amount of respect, because you know that person across the field, he can actually hit that.
Yeah, one of the first teams when I was coaching that we saw doing this a lot was Vitality. We used to play against them, and it would look like, say, Fairy Peak was going to hit it, and then suddenly he wouldn't be, and another player comes flying in and takes over the ball. It really does throw off your rotations and your control. And I think a lot of teams have adapted that, especially Queso. They were one of the best teams at going for these low percentage plays, and if they didn't work, it was still fine. It did something.
I prefer to call the ex-Queso, now Moist Esports playstyle the full send. Because everybody's always around. It looks dangerous. It often is. But when you've got players like Vatiro ready to take on the 2v1, then they tend to work out all right. This is still in the working out all right sort of category for Misfits. 1 minute left with a 1-goal lead. Arju off the wall. Can he get the second? Yes, he can. Can get too much power, but it's just more time wasted off the clock. Every single time you take that ball into the air and you can get a couple of consecutive touches, wasting a good 5-6, very least seconds off the clock. Catalysm will be aware of that. 30 seconds now on the field. Needs his team to get control. Is happy to see that one was initially wide. Now they can start to play. Catalysm is in the midfield. Can't get the ball over to him. Easily picked back up.
Oh, brilliant.
20 seconds now. Catalysm might actually have a shot from this. He's got an infield option, but that is far too much power. Rizex can't take the shot from there.
These 50s are so good, but that shot's going to be just wide. Cash sending it away. The reads from Misfits are keeping them in this game. They're reading every touch that Evil Geniuses are going for and avoiding the bumps. Are so aware of what's going on as the ball stays grounded. Misfits take game 2, and we're looking at a potential sweep here from the underdogs of Misfits.
We're going to bring Orb back in to give us some news from around the RLCS as it looks. Reminder, this is elimination round. Orb, who's on the verge of going out?
Well, I mean, it seems like Wild has turned it up a notch. They were looking obviously a little beaten down after that 6-0 loss against Dig in the first round. They got Dig into overtime after, I think it was 26 seconds remaining when they tied it up. It was looking really good, but then Dig was able to win the overtime. So Dig is up 2-0 in that series. BS Competition, once again, they're up 1-0 in the series currently with a 1. Let's see here. No, K Corp is up with 1 goal currently. So who knows how that's going to end up. And Wolves is up 2-0. They're currently in game 3. And they have 1 goal lead in game number 3. So those are the results. I mean, it's good to see Wild waking up and putting Dig to the test here, but they could be looking at a sweep. I mean, we could potentially be looking at 3 sweeps here. Okay, you got the Wolves, you got the Misfits, you got Dig. Actually, there could be 4 sweeps. BS Competition could also win their game. So this is how it's looking in lower round number 1. Sweep City, potentially. Sweep City.
Sweep City. My.
Sweep City.
I mean, the format is really brutal for the mental of these players, especially those top teams that have been knocked down to the lower bracket, who expect themselves to still be in the upper bracket. That might be still playing on their mindset. They did get a bit of a break because we had the upper bracket round to play out. But Evil Geniuses right now might be underperforming purely on the grounds that they feel like they should be in the upper bracket still. And getting over that is one of the hardest hurdles of a pro player.
So here we are, getting ourselves into game 3. Potential elimination on the cards here for Evil Geniuses. And just to put it into perspective, by the way, as to how big elimination would be here, getting out in this round is worth 80 points. If you want to get into, let's say, top 6, which is roughly where you want to be to set yourself up for a chance to go to London, that is 210 points. You're putting yourself into such a bad position with only 2 tournaments to turn it around.
Yeah, and with these 2 teams being teams that didn't make roster moves, they trusted the process. They went, you know what? We are good enough to play against the top teams of North America and Europe. They're going to be looking at all these other teams like BDS, Vitality, who've all stepped up and thinking they're going to be taking that 5th, 6th, 7th spot, which we were fighting for before. And that's going to make it a lot more challenging for these guys to make London Major, to make Worlds and Wildcard. So these teams really do need this win right now to be in with a chance of competing in the spring split.
On the team and the rest of Misfits, they've done well defensively. Only caught out for 1 goal so far across 10 minutes of gameplay. It has been very clean, and as I say that, they have made it awkward for themselves, and it's gonna go in 1-0. And Misfits just got themselves all tied up.
Yeah, you see that touch from Rizek that needed to be cleared better by RG. You can already see Cash driving across, expecting the stronger clear, but I think RG was a bit low on boost there, so wasn't able to catch up to that ball. And that's where these guys have been on the back foot for a while against Evil Geniuses. Nothing too threatening from them, but it will eventually catch you off guard if you miss that boost or miss that first touch on the ball.
There has been a playstyle that, whilst EG have not been playing at their best, playstyle that doesn't really punish that too much. You're giving EG chances to see more of the ball, get themselves more confident. Well, one thing that'll give you a lot of confidence is not necessarily scoring a big fancy play yourself, but to see your opponents mess up in that fashion. Let you know that there are going to be easier ways to score in the future. Kane looking to try and set up over here. Almost found Catalysm, who narrowly avoided being bumped. That has been the real strategy of both of these teams. Rizek off the reset, just bounces off the ball. It has been the go-to so far from Misfits, hasn't it, Greg? And just get the ball into the corner, set it up, and take out a goalkeeper whilst you're around.
Yeah, exactly. If you can recognize when your play is over and just clear out as soon as possible, you open up other opportunities to be valuable. Like we said, bump plays, boost steals, but the biggest factor is you get back into the play sooner, so you can come back and support your team behind them, giving them that confidence to go forward and really be aggressive on the ball. And that's so important when you're playing at the top level and you need to keep pressure on the ball. If someone's slow to return, it really delays that ability to keep pressure on it.
Half the game gone here, and the one Evil Geniuses goal, the separator between the 2 teams. Bit of time to work with. Cash off the backboard. Ivan should be able to see the ball away. Good defensive play overall by Evil Geniuses, just forcing a little bit less than an optimal play to come towards them. As Ivan actually given more time on it, Misfits just get themselves into their own problems. Got away with this and continue down to the opposite side of the field. Couple of boosts stolen as well. They need to try and retain some of this possession. Instead, it's Ivan dances his way out of his own back corner. Although Rizek hasn't been caught out. Rizek, where on earth are you going?
Cash catching them off guard there. The full range boom. I think expecting a little bit more out of Ivan there, Rizek, as he's straight onto the play, which means he has to half flip to get back to that ball. And it's just too powerful from Cash. He needs to be arcing around at the back there to be able to turn quickly on that ball and send it away. Caught off guard, Cash finds an opportunity and Misfits are back in.
And it's 2 somewhat weak goals conceded by either of the squads. Both need to sort this out if they do want to move on to the next round.
All 2 up.
Ivan as well. Can he recover the ball? Almost found the reset. Just scoop that ball into the net. Now Ivan, far side, got time to work with. Cuts the ball back in, almost found the hook shot. Instead, it's off the demo. Catalysm just has to score it instead. Arju scrambles back just in time, gets rid of it.
Sends it middle. This is good pressure here from Evil Geniuses.
Oh, Arju!
But it opens up. Oh, Rizek needs to be stronger than that. And this is the threat of those bumps, as it throws off the defense, but Rizek's caught off his guard as much as the defense was, so his shot was not too strong, especially not accurate in that case. But we can just see time and time again, these Evil Geniuses players are finding themselves in strong positions to potentially score or set up a goal, but they're not quite creative enough in the final moment, looking to do very simple, risk-free plays. They need to start taking those risks. They are down now. They need to try and step up and play above their level if they want to be able to beat Misfits here.
Cash, good first touch from him, but couldn't get to it quick enough afterwards. But it is Rizek that's got his team a little bit of time. Ivan goes low on his challenge. Catalysm looks to support.
Simple Rocket League, though. They need the
Very
bit more.
simple Rocket League. And yeah, it's going to be difficult to outpace 3 players in a row.
Yeah, you can just see there, they're relying too heavily on just 50-50s, retaining possession, looking to get bumps, retaining possession, and it's just not opening up enough space because Misfits are doing so well at reading these opportunities. This could be it. Ivan now, I'm trying to be a bit creative at 0 seconds. Opportunity still, Catalysm middle. Matane, what a read. He's played so well in this series. One of the best Matane performances I've seen in a while.
There we go. Big overtime. EG need this. They want to keep their reverse sweep hopes alive. If not, they are out of the tournament in a exceptionally disappointing performance for them. Still chances to turn it around as Ivan just goes past the ball. 0 boost, couldn't quite make it. Now it is up to Cash. Awkward angle, looks to find it. And Mitane just dove on it. It's Archie all by himself.
Keeping that pressure on.
Keep the pressure up. And yeah, Evil Geniuses, they're just trying to ration their boost at the moment, but it might get them caught. Stuck in their own side of the field. Instead it is Rizek. Quick enough, powerful enough. And he has turned the tables back around.
Yeah, RG's playing a very different role today to what I'm used to him seeing from him. Is he's just trying to fill the gap, set his teammates up, keep feeding them the ball. It has been Matane and Cash to score majority of the goals or set up the goals. He's trying to fill those gaps, send the ball back to his teammates, and it's working beautifully as they keep turning and creating great chances. But what it does mean is if he gets bumped, that could be the opportunity Evil Geniuses need. He is the glue behind this team that's allowing them to defend.
RG once again called in. Good first touch. Would have probably preferred it if one of his teammates had some boost, but actually it didn't matter too much. Evil Geniuses was held off for quite a long time, gave Matane an opportunity to move the ball on. Rizek's now back over to himself. Can he get them for the challenge? Doesn't matter, still strong. And Ivan has got the ball straight past Arju. Double commit over the corner. Cash chance to try and break away. Instead he slows it down, waits for the support. Instead Arju off the backboard, looks for the step. Matane moves in. And Ivan quick enough to get rid of it.
They've overcommitted though. This could be an opportunity. Arju just tracking back in time. Superb recovery from him, but that was the first moment of creativity we've seen from Arju, and it was almost brilliant. Evil Geniuses now have got a good chance to put pressure on as they counterattack so well. Those bumps are so vital. That's going to be an opportunity. Matane and Cash both in the air, but Cash taking so much control of that ball. This is beautiful for Misfits. Every time you think they're on the back foot, one individual does something beautiful.
My goodness!
Joe, Fleetbury set off the backboard, sent it in himself. We called him to action, not being involved in the offense. What better way to do it than win the series?
That was the goal he deserved. What a play! Off the backboard, flip reset, tuck it in, and Evil Geniuses out in the very first round. Misfits will move on, and they're looking forward to playing Endpoint in the next round.
Beautiful. Orb, what's happening?
Orb, how you feeling, buddy?
I was just going to say, if you're going to win in overtime when it matters the absolute
like
most,
that.
I think you do it exactly like that. I mean, beautiful. I think Jorby is ecstatic. I also think that Gibbs is ecstatic because Dignitas just swept Wild. So we got Misfits sweep, obviously. We got Dig sweep. We were potentially looking at Wolves Esports sweeping as well, but SK Gaming picked up the game 3 4-2. So they're waking up a little bit. When we last spoke, BS Competition were up 1-0. They could potentially sweep, even though it was many games out. Now, K Corp has responded, and they're leading the series 2-1. So, I mean, yeah, we were looking at a lot of potential sweeps here. I love that. We were looking at a lot of potential sweeps. We got two out of them correct, at least.
Yeah, looking at BS Plus competition, I've got to do a big shout out to Freaky. I used to coach him back in 2018. And he was always so driven. He was always thinking, I'm never going to stop until I'm at the top. And nice to see him back in tournaments. And I think this has been the tournament of some of the old veterans coming back, even just in the terms of coaching. You know, we've got Farah coaching Vitality now, and we've got Tadpole versus Fruity in that other lower bracket round. In this one, we got Freaky to enjoy. So lots of veterans coming back.
Greg, and when are you making your return? Okay? That's what I want to know.
Is he asking for us to get rid of him?
No. That was going to be my follow-up point, is that I don't want him to leave. You know,
Okay,
I don't want him to leave.
That was definitely a subtle, I don't think you're very good at this job, try and do something you're better at. But it's fine, you know?
No. Greg, I'm the last person to say that. You're doing a stellar job. Now, Shogun, on the other hand, got some points. I'm writing down some points, Shogun, okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, give me the feedback, all right? Speak after.
Okay, but listen, I can give you 1 point already. We need more cat content.
Oh, beautiful.
To be honest, we need more cat content from you.
We can't trust the kitten, okay? The kitten likes to attack the audio. Like, she will just press the swear button out of nowhere. Like, she loves that button in particular.
Why don't you just turn it off? Get it off.
I can't turn it off. I'm not. If someone knows how to turn it off, please let me know, because that would be very important to me.
Any Chloe lovers out there need to come tech support right now. Oh,
Please
Wolves! Oh, what a save!
No, listen, I love hearing you, Greg, and mention that there's actually a couple of people that, and especially Fruity now, since we can, watch him play right now, that he plays with keyboard and mouse. I think that's awesome, because when I joined Rocket League, that was one of the first questions I had was, how many people actually play with keyboard and mouse? Because all I ever see is controller. But yeah, okay, so a small, less than 1% type of player. Chat, how many people in chat right now? How many people are playing with a keyboard and mouse?
What I'll say for you, Orb, is that your rank, it's probably not a problem. It's only really when you start getting...
Why would you
I'm just
throw me under the bus for a point?
No,
listen,
look,
I'm a plat diamond, okay? I'm a plat diamond.
Exactly, you're just
you laughing? That's not a joke,
The name of it is now.
You're reaffirming my
diamond
point.
sounds like you're a plat who thinks he deserves more.
No. Listen, some people argue that I've been carried, but I strongly disagree, okay? Strongly disagree.
Send me one of those replays through. Okay,
yeah, let's do a listen in here for the last 25 seconds.
Miss that. And it all comes again from these simple little mistakes that you can't be making at this level. They back away, two players rotating to the same position on the field. Tad and Hyder both leaving the play. And then you've got Rezi throwing themselves in really recklessly. Tad misses. But all those actions that happened up to Tad's miss, which is why you can't just blame Tadpole in that situation. Everyone made mistakes. And SK Gaming have no problem punishing that. It's a gifted goal. And unfortunately so, because we were 2-1 up with not a lot of time left on the clock, which would have meant we'd have closed out the series. Now we've got a lot of work to do again.
Another whiff.
No, but Econ missed that.
Rezi's kept it up. It's got under it. It's popped it. Oh.
0 seconds, and that will come down. We get another overtime. Wolves, who don't make me feel comfortable on kickoffs, have had a decent enough kickoff to calm my nerves somewhat. But knowing that there's one goal between winning the series and going to a game 5, which I dread, I would rather have my eyes closed. Unfortunately, I don't think it would be fair for me to charge Wolves Esports for my casting if I'm doing it with my eyes closed.
I'm nervous now. 30 seconds in. Strong pass in play, picked up by Tadpole. Can't quite get the flick.
I'm glad they're finding each other. I've missed that this series. We did it so much against BDS. The passes were beautiful. Thought it was going in off the crossbar. Econ looked like he'd made a meal of it. But we're denied by the woodwork. We got to get the referee to have a look at these goalposts. They don't seem like they're regulation. Surely that was going in.
I heard the new update made them 1mm smaller. Is that true?
My word.
Athena would not like that. Open goal here. Nicely defended.
Good. Oh, we should be taking our time there, though. We're just banging that ball downfield again. Giving possession back. We had a lot of space there. And we had players behind the ball. There's an opportunity to get a play working and find each other. But it's these nerves. You see that we start to rush things a little bit more. We've seen that as well in qualifiers, but no problem. We regain. Tad puts it in the back of the net, and we're through to lowers round 2. And SK Gaming are in the bin, as we so suspected.
In the bin. In the bin. Wow.
All right, Wolves able to snag that one, 3-1. And Karmine Corp also finished. Was that right? Right at the moment, right at the same time.
Yeah, they won 3-1 in that 4th game, which put them 3-1 up in the series. So they are going to be going on to the next round. Karmine Corp, I think, definitely one of those teams. There's a lot of questions around how this format, they'll be able to deal with that going down to the lower bracket. And they seem to bounce back all right with a, I'd say, easier game. They could have had a tougher one. You know, we saw Evil Genius's Misfits. So we'll see how Karmine Corp do next round, where it's going to be a bit tougher.
Shogun, Misfits sweeping this one, okay? That obviously puts everybody in chat. They said like, what, a 75-25% split there?
Twitch chat was the only people that were wrong on this one. So how dare you sort it out next time? But I think it's more surprising the fact that it is a 3-0. Like EG, it looked like they were on the come up. You know, they had a very disappointing way to end their first split where realistically, all they had to do was win one series and they would have taken it off Vitality, but that didn't happen. But last split was so much better for them. They ended up going. We thought that was going to kick them to become one of the next European top teams, and they're out.
Well, listen, we're going to see. We got one more round in store for you guys. It's got to be the lower round number 2. The matchup we're going to be watching is Liquid versus Dig. But we need to pay some bills. You know how it goes, guys. We got to take another break. Everybody take this opportunity, get some drinks, get some snacks. Get ready. We got more Rocket League lower round 2 with the Dacia Spring Cup coming up right after this. Stick around.
Bright and early for the daily races. Going nowhere. I find it kind of funny, find it kind of sad when people run in circles. It's a very vague mad I wish you stayed the same. I know that you think enough to be fine. But if I'm cause I'm stuck now, just trying to figure a way out of try but can't
All right, welcome back, everyone. The bills have been paid, and we are ready for round number 2, the lower round 2 of the Dacia Spring Cup. Now, we're going to be watching Liquid versus Dig, but let's first take a look at the bracket so far, see the results as they have been made throughout day 1 here. It's looking a little something like this, and I mean, Liquid versus Dig is going to be tough. But Shogun, is there anything else that catches your eye here? For the lower round specifically.
Are just absolutely massive. I mean, Luminosity K-Corp, they'll obviously want to get these points because, as I mentioned earlier, top 6 is so important to set the tone for your split. And we're going to lose half of these before they even get close to that position. But obviously, Liquid Dignitas, Endpoint Misfits, oh my goodness, man. That's brutal for both of these teams because they both look like we want to see more from them, but we get that problem as well. It's one of those things where you say, oh, do you think this team's a top 6 team? You say yes. And then you say it for like 10 more teams. You start to realize, wait, this is not a top 6
Everyone's the top 6
anymore. Exactly. That's the typical European problem that we've always had. And one of these teams, though, is going out exceptionally early.
Greg, would you say that the competition is especially fierce now because of Cole mentioned it in the very beginning of the show. The fact that this is the spring split, the points are higher. Greg, do you feel like do you feel like the teams and the players are more locked in for this regional and the coming regionals, of course?
Well, this split is incredibly important. Firstly, to make it to the London Major, which I'm sure every team wants to. Also for the wildcard and worlds, you know, those final little bits of points are so important. But also things like auto qualification. We look at teams like Solary who are in that upper bracket, and if they win their next game, I think they might be able to auto qualify into the closed qualifier. And then you've got teams auto qualifying into the main events, all this kind of stuff. So every single bit of points that a team can accumulate is so important for their ability to do better in the next tournament without having to fight against the rest of Europe.
Well, we're going to be checking out Liquid versus Dig here for our lower round 2. Don't forget to check out the team streams for all the other series going on. I will try to report as much as I can in between the games. But Shogun, thoughts on these two teams going head-to-head here?
I am looking forward to this so much because it's the players that we saw last season coming through. We're saying these are the new young players that everyone should be looking out for in the form of apparently Jack and Jorius. And now we've got the newer versions, the new season RLCS versions of Oski and Atau. They're going to get their chance to try and prove that actually they're the upcoming top players. Oh, it's going to be good.
Listen,
I got a question for you. Or what were you doing in 2007?
I don't know what I was doing. It's so many years ago.
Yeah, well, that was the year that Atau and Oski were being born. So that's how young these guys are. 2007, they were born. So some of the youngest players in the tournament, only eligible for Regional 3 of last split. They are very new to the scene right here. So there's definitely an element of experience that we want to talk about. But in terms of experience, Dignitas on the other side, some of the most experienced young players in the scene.
Absolutely. We're going to host up the Dacia fan vote here, and we're going to find out where the chat allegiance lies. Team Liquid versus Dig. Use the hashtags on screen. Use them in the chat room, and let's see who's got the upper hand. Yeah, 2007. That is a long time ago. Shogun, in terms of the prediction for this one, though, we're not talking
you
about
weren't going to come to me first.
No,
I'll go Dignitas. I feel like the Liquid name, I feel I'm just scorned by at this point. So I've got to see them get some big wins before I start predicting them. I think Dignitas have just got that little bit more about them.
All right. Greg, what about you?
Dig. Go on.
Dig all the way. All right, fan. Well, let's get the results in. I hear the players are ready, so we want to keep the show moving. 60, very close to the meme. 67% for Dig as having the upper hand in this battle. Let's see if chat is correct. Let's see if maybe Shogun, maybe Gregan is correct. Let's see.
We're not doing well so far.
Well, listen, it can all change for the better now, Shogun. What do you say?
Let's find out, shall we? Let's see whether or not the next generation can take on the other next generation of Rocket League players. Dignitas looking to try and bounce back. They had a very disappointing major for themselves. They're already finding themselves down in this lower bracket. A loss against Liquid, and suddenly the wheels start to come off on their season.
Yeah, I'm really looking at this Dig team and wondering what their spring split is going to look like. They are one of the teams that I'm most concerned about getting upset and not making the major, because they have been on a downward trend. You know, potential for new coach coming in, that's going to change a lot of things up for them. We really need to see that work ethic come back from this team of we want to be the best, to really make that splash in the spring split and in Worlds and Wildcard. But starting off, Liquid looking strong.
Yeah, Liquid controlling the field, although if you did want some goal line defenders, not really going to find too many better than the ones you've got over on Dignitas. Now Scrub Killer looks for a shot, not much power on it. Easily palmed away first time. Looks like we've been waiting for the longest time just to see Liquid over on these mainstreams. Do have their opportunity after some very disappointing performances from themselves over in Season X. Good positioning once again. Scrub Killer, highlight player so far for Dignitas. He's all over the place, cutting out certain plays. Off the backboard, Jorius moves the ball clear, but that's about as good as Dignitas have done so far. Bump on Scrub Killer. He's now on the backboard. He did recover in time, just needed a bit of help.
Yeah, you got to respect the strategy behind the org of Liquid, where they went, let's just rebuild, let's get some young players. We know it works in Rocket League. We've just seen XKSO, now Moist, doing so well after signing young players who've got potential. That's really what Liquid are trying to do here with Oski Atau, and Chronic was one of the star players, the unknown players in RLCS X, who's now coming back finally. Be interested to see how this Liquid team develops, but one thing we can know for sure is they could win an event. They could pop off, and it's because of these kinds of transitions, the speed, the angles they're able to produce. As we see Chronic messing up there, it's fine. He's in position now to score.
Yeah, just choose to do something else, create a new objective for yourself, and Chronic, the linchpin of this team, has put them on the board. This Liquid team is one that I think many in Europe are going to be very scared of. You'll be hoping for anyone else just that they have a couple of bad performances from themselves, because once those results start rolling in, Gregan, you get the feeling that it'll become a natural occurrence for them, but until then, you're hoping that the nerves are just too much.
Yeah, the closed qualifiers from these guys in Regional 3 of the Winter Split was very poor. Like, we saw a team that had so much anticipation, underperformed majorly. They were panicking everywhere, rushed in so many parts of the pitch. Once these guys settle down and start being a bit more in control, that's where the mechanics they're capable of are scary and threatening.
Yeah, it's once the close qualifiers become normal to them, suddenly that becomes easier. Then once these rounds become normal, that becomes easier.
Experience.
Getting that experience, yep. And as a 15-year-old player, experience is very, very hard to come by. Scrub Killer now off the wall. Yeah, I've been very impressed with Scrub's performances. He does need a bit of help down this side of the field. Dorius chooses to try and go by himself, and Chronic, as always, very proactive. Just takes away the danger.
Yeah, I do have a lot of questions for Jorius this split. One of the players who is peak performances, quite a lot of based off of his low hours, confidence and everything. But over time, that low hours confidence can eventually grind you down, and you can lose that flair factor that you had, the scary ability he was capable of when he popped off so much in the full split. We need to see him step up and be that carry role that he was so capable of early on in this season.
Oh, big demo. Oski's all by himself against Perry Jack, who just roused the crossbar. Dignitas had to make something from that. And unfortunately, the shot just wasn't there. Joris, you can see loitering in the background. Is he going to try and take out the keeper? Nope, didn't get a chance. But this is Dignitas' best passage of play. They need to go from it.
Opportunity. Just taking it straight towards the defense, giving them the ability to take control. They need to be taking players out the game, not giving them the ball back. As we see Joris going for the double tap, just missing out. Jack, point blank range, sends the shot. A Chronic sends it away. Possession still for Dignitas here. Jack in control, goes for the bump. Opportunity for Scrub to fake. Can Joris make it in time and sends it straight at the defenders once again? They need to play around them, not at them.
Oski has given that breathing room over to Team Liquid. 40 seconds on the clock. Dignitas showed the best of themselves. Joris looks for Oski one more time. Oski just delays, gets done, but apparently Jack saves his own shot.
Unfortunate. That's so unfortunate. He got the outplay, blocked the defender from clearing it, but then was just in an awkward position. No boost left. Pinches that ball away. And Dignitas are going to be feeling confident going into the next game, knowing they are capable of scoring. They just need to get that final blow a little bit more creative. There's still time. Jack just wide. Scrub on target. A towel sending it home. This is so important right now for Dignitas for their confidence, because Liquid are in so much control as we see the rule 1 flick high, 2v2, 0 seconds. Can they make it happen? Scrub Killer keeps it up. Ball's still alive. And that ball's going to be touching down as Liquid hold off the onslaught of Dignitas offense.
Confident or frustrated? It's going to be one or the other heading into the next game, as all you've had eyes on the other games happening across the RLCS space. What's happening elsewhere?
Well, we got K Corp winning over Luminosity 2-1 in their first matchup. We have Misfits. Endpoint has just started. Endpoint has already scored 1. Wolves is up 2-0 against Semper. That's how that's looking. But I mean, looking at this Dig Liquid game, is this, Gregan, since you're a coach, you have coaching experience, is this detrimental to the focus and the mindset of Dig to lose this game 1?
It really depends on the player you're talking to. I think knowing these guys, they'll feel confident that their game plan is there, that they just need to up the execution. They are capable of scoring so many of these opportunities they had. They know that that's there, so they don't need to change the game plan. They just need to play individually better. So I don't think they're going to change too much. For Liquid, they're just going to be feeling confident that they won the game. You know, at this point, they are just gaining experience, and every single game, they're just going to be going into it with the mindset of, if we win, that's good enough.
Would you say it's a worthwhile win sorry, would you say that was a worthwhile win for them, Shogun, to beat Dig in that 1-0? Or would you say that Dig was in control of that game?
Listen, I don't want to keep harping on over and over again about these guys' age, but I feel like it's important to really represent them. They don't care. At this age, you take a win however you can get it, because once you get a scrappy win, suddenly the easy win becomes a little bit easy for you, as Dignitas still don't have a goal, and you don't get closer than that.
And the thing about that is Joris had the opportunity to finish it. He just misread the bounce off the inside of the corner. It looked like the old DVD logo bouncing in the corner, and he wasn't able to read it, and that's going to be detrimental to their mental. We said about them feeling confident about their game plan, but they should be finishing that. It doesn't get easier.
Yeah, I was asking whether or not it's going to be frustration or not. It's definitely frustration now. You can not be anything else, as we do see Oski off the backboard. Can he get there? No, Scrub Killer intercepts just in time. Defensively, it has been survival mode for Dignitas. They have struggled to really dictate the play from there, but outside of that, Liquid have been on their own heels, but haven't been punished for it just yet. It looks like Dignitas have got the better of them, but scoreline-wise, you wouldn't see it.
Yeah, the kind of opportunities Dignitas are going for are a little bit too slow paced, and that's allowing Liquid to reset. One thing Liquid really let themselves down in is they don't have the same patience of a lot of other more mature teams. They throw themselves in over and over again, and if you can get a quick punish game in, you'll find a way to counterattack on them, on a player with low boost in an awkward position. They've not utilized that just yet.
Oh, there's apparently Jack, double commit. Still good recoveries, though, over on the side of Liquid, and a good challenge as well from a Chronic. No fear over there from him. I'm very happy just to dive on in when you've got those sort of defenders around you that he does. You start to get a bit of confidence to dive in a little bit more often, because you know they can deal with it. Glorious, only as far as a towel, not too much power. Scrub Killer back into the corner, but that doesn't fight Team Liquid back in, as Oski almost put it behind the goalkeeper. A little bit too far. And now apparently Jack, what a musty flick that was. That was so much power, and still Team Liquid in position to get rid of it.
Yeah, because they're trying to set up for these solo plays in space. What Liquid are doing is they're just waiting for them to set it up, and then letting them use 50-odd boost, and then intercepting the ball late on in the play. And it means that it's taking those Dignitas players out the game, so they're not able to keep sustained pressure. Liquid have got a good game plan here, whether they're trying to do it or not. And this is the kind of punish game we're talking about. Liquid overcommit all the time. And if you're just patient and win the neutral game over and over again, you're going to break them down.
I do like Jorius just making the goal a bit larger, just in case. You know, we've seen the shooting from Dignitas. They could do with the entire backboard being a goal from what we have seen. But we also know that that might be the goal that just sort of kicks it on where the gameplay might start to be represented by the scoreline.
Can I rescind a comment just there? I said break them down. I think in that situation, Liquid broke themselves down by all going in the air at once.
Yes, definitely so. Well, they're going to maybe need more of that as they are a goal down, and our shot is wide. Oski puts himself in a bad spot. Durabush is going to start diving away, and now Tao called into action. See a couple of bump attempts over on the goal line. Dignitas settling into their own rhythm. Here is Jack. Sets up. Jorius chooses not to dive on in. Instead, it's a one-on-one aerial battle. Does incredibly well. Might even get a second block if needed. Instead, Scrub Killer comes to take over.
This is better. The 50s coming through. Really nice from Dignitas. They're taking Liquid out of the game, opening up opportunities. And in particular, Scrub Killer has been looking to focus on the challenge game, not trying to do anything too overcommitting. And it's working beautifully as they're gaining possession of the ball. And that's really the key in these kinds of matchups. The more opportunities you get by having that stronger possession, the better your chances of winning, as it's going to frustrate Liquid and they're going to try and force a goal in these moments, and that's when they overcommit.
That's going to be a big problem here for Liquid, is that they are so strong on those challenges that it's going to be very easy for them to start to default over to that. But if there's ever a team you're taking on that you don't want to be trying to challenge a 50-50 game against, it's going to be Dignitas. They are usually known as somewhat good at that style of play.
Yeah, the old 1v1s.
Yes, definitely going to prepare you for a matchup like this one, as we do see a very late save. Puts the ball over the top. 45 seconds.
Well, the game's flown by.
Certainly has. As we go underneath, Oski fakes out something different. Didn't aim for the challenge, and instead it's a Chronic who's got his second.
The youthful play from Oski there, setting up the threat with that flip reset. Recognizes Jorius is backwards to the ball, not in a strong position to challenge. Weaves it around him off the backboard. In comes a Chronic to finish that ball, and we see the scoreline equalize. The first moment of brilliance from Liquid, really coming through there, punishing Jorius' mispositioning.
Back out again. Liquid have managed to fight back here. Now looking for a second one. Apparently Jack caught out. Recovering not quite there from a tap, but he has got a block. I think there might be an option here for a Chronic. Instead, goes off the backboard. A miss from Jorius, maybe caught off. That way might not matter too much, given how Scrub is going to get there just in time to clear away. Although off angle, shooting on target yet again. Goalkeeper stand strong.
Good speed. And that's just going to kill it. I think this right now is in Liquid's control. They seem to be punishing some awkward positioning from Dignitas. This has been the big difference from them now compared to at the start of their journey in the 21-22 season. They looked so fluid, rotated so fast as a team. Now they find themselves a bit stagnant at times, not able to flow off of each other. And in particular, it comes from Jorius. He finds himself with his back to the ball far too often now.
It's been difficult against a player, especially like Oski. As it's going to be a Tau up against Jorius. Past one, and Jorius
great save.
Whoops across, and now he's got control of the ball. Almost managed to take it the entire way. Instead, it's off the ball off the backboard. First one there will be Oski. Didn't want to set up the easy clear. Instead, tried to go by himself, but he didn't have any support around. Chronic with a Tau just behind him. Taking away that clearing angle for apparently Jackson. Instead, puts it over to Jorius, who was just sat right underneath. Now Jorius, oh my goodness, a Chronic. I don't think he would have known too much about that one, but he reacted quick enough.
Yeah, he probably was expecting that very simple play from Jorius to take it past three players, but it did in the end, and that's where these reaction speeds of the younger players are so important. Be able to react to this. I don't know if Fruity at the ripe old age of 26 now, something like that, would have been able to react to those kinds of moments. These guys are having to change their game plan at the last moment as the chaos is obviously taking out this Dignitas team. They cannot deal with these unorthodox touches. A towel sending that wide. The pre-jumps from Dignitas not reading the play. A Chronic cleaning up the scraps as chaos works beautifully for Liquid.
Orb?
Yeah.
Just confirm for me, Dignitas on the verge of elimination, right? Just... I can't believe it.
Listen, let me double check my notes here. Yep, it does seem. I just got the numbers in. It does look like Dignitas could potentially lose out here. But they're not the only one, all right? They're not the only one. Luminosity is also down 2 games, okay? Karmine Corp looking to sweep as well. Liquid looking to sweep. Endpoint had a 5-2 win over Misfits in their game 1, even though the game started so late. Endpoint started with a bang in their game number 1, currently 0-0 in game 2. Semper is currently, let's see here, Semper is, Wolves is up by 1 in game number 2 over Semper. So those are the results. I wanted to ask you guys, I mean, do you guys think that K-Corp is going to sweep Luminosity? Should they beat them, technically?
I mean, there's no reason to say no on that one. This is the great part. Me and Gregan were chatting to each other before we came into this, and Gregan was like, where's my note? How do I not know? Oh, wait, there are brand new rosters for the vast majority of them. Like, this is us learning. Everyone at home is learning about these teams. It's us learning about these teams. This is what is the fun part. I mean, I say fun part. I would like if my previous notes still had any relevance whatsoever. But instead, we get to sit here, we get to watch, we get to go through the eye test and see if these teams and new rosters are working.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's exciting with Rocket League, though. The fact that there are so many changes happening. What team is going to end up where, or what player is going to end up where, and what team is going to take control. But here we go. Is Liquid going to sweep? That is the question. Let's find out.
I think
this is the best position that Liquid as an org have been in Rocket League in the last year plus that we've had them.
Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly with the way that this game has gone. Is we don't really know what Liquid are expecting of themselves. This is experience for them, but that can sometimes be the most dangerous asset for them as a team. We saw it work so well with Queso in the past. You know, they come in, they want to win, but there's no expectation for them to do it. So they can come in as an underdog and really just enjoy this experience, taking down titans like Dignitas.
Well, the thing is as well, if you are Dignitas coming into this, you don't really know what to expect. You played these guys in ranked, you know what they can do mechanically. You might have some habits that you think that they have, but that's ranked. Players have different habits when the pressure is on. And so far, they have not quite been able to dial in to what Team Liquid are doing. That being said, it has been an underperformance from Dignitas. We do expect more from them. Especially in the shooting. Forget the first game. Starting to become more and more big as we go along. Chronic, he did get there first. Has he got the boost as well? Instead, causing a towel. Chronic's just going to keep that ball on. This is so difficult to read because Liquid, there's not a huge amount of power. I think if we can say one thing about what they do, they're not blasting the ball. And Dignitas are positioning for them as if they are going to, and it's just throwing them off.
Yeah, taking really good control of the ball whenever they can, and they're catching them off guard in these unorthodox moments. You know, we saw the first goal of the series was a Chronic missing the ball, landing in a great redirect position, ball boom to him, he scores. And it's those little things that it's hard to read when you're playing against a team that doesn't fully have control of the ball.
What a shot, Scrub Killer. Just set it up, realized there was 2 defenders, just had to hit and hope. And he did manage to split it between the 2. What a hit. And I tell you what, Scrub, despite where they are, I've been impressed with Scrub in this series. He's been quick. He's been the tone setter. But I tuned in earlier on to both Leaf and Gibbs over on the Dignitas stream. If you do want to go and check them out, by all means, please do. But they had a thing that they were saying at the time, which is if Scrub Killer's the player leading, something's wrong over on Dignitas.
Oh, 100%. I was about to say the same thing. You know, we expect so much from the upcoming talent of Jorias and apparently Jack. We expect them to get better every split, every season. And they seem to be taking a little bit of a recline in their ability. And I think it might be coming from uncertainty as players, uncertainty as their play style. Hopefully, if they get a new coach in, they can start to redirect themselves towards that end goal of being the best team in the world. But right now, yeah, you said Scrub Killer is the most consistent player on this team, and that is concerning. That sounds harsh.
It does sound harsh. I expect consistency from the scrum. I just don't expect him to be a game changer because that's not how he's positioned himself in this roster. Oh my goodness. No. What a setup. You know, Scrub has made it very publicly known that he likes to just settle back, make sure the rotation is all good. He considers himself very strong at that type of play. But if that type of play is what's leading the charge, then it does mean that the offense isn't quite clicking. Defensively, they've been fine. Conceding 3 across 2 games is not terrible. But offensively, something's not there.
Yeah, and we talk about the mental game as well. You know, Scrub is a player who historically has stepped up under pressure so well. That was his greatest asset as a player in his early career. And we look at this kind of setting, being in the lower bracket earlier than expected against a team unknown like Liquid. You really do have to step up, and Joria's right here. Powerful shot to the far side. It is though Scrub, the playmaker, sending it into that top corner, threatening a goal. Joria's cleaning up.
I do like some dick because this is just basics right now. They are doing the basics. They're doing them well. That's the bread and butter of Rocket League you just saw. We've had that one ever since the RLC Pro League back in, I think, 2015, 2016?
About when Atao and Oski were born, right?
Yeah, pretty much. My goodness, they would have been 8 at the time of that tournament. Oh, dearie me, as we do get ourselves into the final minute of this game. Dignitas looking to try and fight back from potentially being swept. And the towel off the backboard, can't find the follow-up. I just want to see them continue to play simple. If it makes sense later on for Dignitas to bring out the really good solo plays that we do know they are capable of, then by all means go for it, but don't rely on it, especially when it's not working at the moment. You see Jorius taking the ball away, killing off more time from the clock. And Dignitas have set up a line on the halfway point, and they are just going to hold on to this offense for as long as they can. Jorius, will this be the confidence setter? Yes, it is. Jorius, a player that needed that.
Great touch from Jorius initially to send it high onto the backboard, make it impossible for Oski to read as he sends that down. A simple double tap for Jorius there. It did come off of a Chronic going for that Kuxir pinch off the sidewall, setting up the deep defender. And that's exactly what we've spoken about with this Liquid side. They are pure chaos, so hard to read. Who knows what they're doing? They don't even know what they're doing sometimes. They are going for the chaotic plays. And when you've got that consistent, solid game plan, like you mentioned, the old-fashioned Rocket League, simple shooting, simple plays like this, it works so well against the chaos as you're in control of what you're in control of. And any chaos they do will get negated by that simplicity.
Yep, 4-0 here. This game 3 is all but over in terms of the time, but 4-0, there's definitely nothing that Team Liquid are going to be able to do about this. And this is where suddenly you start to realize your own tournament mortality. You're not quite as in control as you once were, as apparently Jack started to flex some of those mechanical muscles. Glorious to himself off the wall. Will they get that number 5? There's nobody quite around to take the shot, as Team Liquid will deny it, at least for now. But 4-0, and Dignitas throwing a couple of question marks into the air about what the result of this series is going to be.
Yeah, I think it's unfair on those first 2 games to say Dignitas were completely useless in the way they were playing. They were very unlucky at times not to finish those opportunities. It was somewhat in their control in those moments, but really this game, the control came from the way they were playing, the decisions they were taking, grounded decisions, ones they could recover from quickly, and it meant that the chaotic style that Liquid were doing wasn't punishing them.
Orb, you've got eyes elsewhere. We're down 3 games. Is anybody been eliminated, or is everyone holding on?
I mean, I just want to point out that in lower round 1, we had so many potential sweeps that were about to happen. We did also have some sweeps happening. Then we also moved into lower round 2. We also had potential sweeps. Karmine Corp could have swept, but Luminosity has not responded. They took game 3, but Karmine Corp is now up 3-0 in their game 4. So maybe they just avoided the sweeping, so to speak. But maybe so did Dignitas as well. It's got to be interesting to see how that series shapes up. Misfits beat up Endpoint in game number 2. They are currently up 2-0 in game number 3. And Semper is currently the only team where it's still possible to sweep against Wolves Esports. They're currently up 1-0. Half the game still to go. Let's see if they can hang on to the sweeping dream in lower round 2. But those are the results so far. As it stands, my friends.
See, there's part of me that really does not like an Endpoint versus Misfits game, because either I've got to deal with a very sad Jorby or a very sad Cold and Stumpy. there's no real winning there.
Yeah, tomorrow's green room is going to be interesting if those results happen. I mean, the thing about the Misfits Evil Geniuses endpoint journey that we've seen, as we see Joriez scoring early on in this game, not letting us talk about other games. Focus on me, Joriez says, as he gets that light touch scrub killer with the 50-50. That's the stuff we're talking about. The juicy 50-50s that take players out the game, and they score early on, pretty much straight off the kickoff.
It just becomes that once this game starts going for you, it just starts to feel a little easier, doesn't it? For love nor money, there would have been no way a goal like that would have gone in the first 2 games for Dignitas, but suddenly it just sort of pops up for you, doesn't it? As we do get the 1-0 lead for Dignitas. Looking to send us over to Champions Field for that game number 5. And this is now going to be a big test as well for Liquid, because we've seen what they can do when they are winning. This game and series is starting to slip away from them here. They're against a team that are very good once they find their possession, once they find their rhythm, at just settling into a game and easily taking a couple of games back-to-back against you without you really having much of a response. Oski fakes out. Apparently Jackie went to the ceiling, now off the side. It'll be Oski up yet again. Atao's coming on from an off angle, so he's not as quick as he would like to be. Instead, trying to dump it off to a Chronic. Good possession here, but that was a bit naive there from Atao. Instead, set himself up, and it's going to be apparently Jack makes it too.
That pinch from Scrub right at Jack, definitely trying to center that one closer to the wall, but Jack staying a little bit deeper just in case it popped away and able to sneak it in below the crossbar. These guys are starting to read the game so much better, whether it be the intercepts, whether it be their teammates' touches. And it's that switched on mentality that we see from top tier players when they're really playing at their best.
Reading the game better than they were. We get a clear, and you're already seeing much more aggressive positioning. Joris just loitering down to the opposite side of the field. Trying to become a target man. Dorius again does win the race to the ball. It's all up to Atao as to how he's going to get rid of this. Instead hits the ceiling, not going to quite get the clear that he needed. It's just handed back over to apparently Jack, who's waiting for it. Looks to set up. He's 1-on-1 against Oski. Goes off the backboard, and there's the support that they needed.
Yeah, it feels right now like the Dignitas roster has downloaded Liquid, as they seem to be so much more in control. Everything Liquid tries to do is getting blocked out. They're getting cut off at the source. They're getting rotations like this. You see apparently Jack just being a nuisance, going for bumps. And it's going to really frustrate Liquid, as it seems from their point of view like Dignitas have their number, as we see another goal from a bump. Apparently Jack open net opportunity. All 3 players of Dignitas contributing.
Look at just like Jorius is going straight through the middle because he knows there's a chance there's going to be a player that he can get rid of. It didn't make a big difference on this play, but they're just setting themselves up for the future. This Team Liquid are scrambling just to keep themselves relevant in the present, and that's not the kickoff. Oh my goodness! Yes, no controllers to desync this time around. Instead, that was just a little bit of a whiff.
Yeah, Ronicky famously doing that kickoff back in the day, ex-Liquid player. Jumping in the air, and you never want to see a kickoff like that, but of all the times to do it when you're 3-0 down, it's not the end of the world.
Imagine, Gregan, you're an upcoming Rocket League player. You're looking forward to it. You find out that in the future, they're going to name a player after you. You're like, oh, I can't wait. And then that's what you get named after.
I feel kind of bad naming it, but everyone knows exactly the moment I'm talking about when I reference it, and if you haven't, it's one of the most unfortunate kickoff mistakes in history. It does
we can test it entirely. If you go and look up Ronicky kickoff and it's the first thing that comes up, then we can't get blamed anymore.
No, I mean, it's one of those where, like, if you mess up a kickoff, we've all done it in ranked. You mess up a kickoff and it leads to a goal, it happens. But to do it in the highest pressure moment and timing it as badly as some of these players might do, it must be so tough for them to recover from. And speaking of tough to recover from, Liquid are getting battered right now. As a young team, this is really going to test their mental. But as we mentioned before, this tournament is all about experience to them. They need to be battered at some point in their tournament careers to really understand what that feels like and come back from it.
Yeah, but they'd rather it isn't today, as they look to try and find some way back in. It's just the solo plays out of their own defense that have really worked for Dignitas. Hasn't really been an answer because Liquid are sitting so far back in their own side of the field. You can see how long it took for a Chronic to move in. Granted, they did have 0 boost, so difficult to get yourself over from there. Still, game 3 and 4, vastly different. You would say they're almost from an entirely different series. As Jorius looked to try and set up, doesn't quite work, but he won't be too worried about that for now. The way this game is going to start heading against him is if we can see Team Liquid get a goal from this, but nobody around. The tower's just recently been demoed.
This is probably going to be an open opportunity for Jack if he can center it well. Not quite. The ball just racing away from him there. They're not going to be too concerned about that as they just have to play out the rest of this game. 30 seconds left without conceding 3 goals, and they'll be able to claim Game 4, taking it to the potential reverse sweep of Game 5. Although we did mention, despite those first few games going in Liquid's favor and Liquid looking the better team, Dignitas definitely had opportunities to score, and it wasn't due to Liquid being that much better. This series is very much in control of Dignitas.
It does seem like they will dictate how this goes. Now, they have been smashing Team Liquid in games 3 and 4. Can they keep it up in game 5? We will find out very shortly, and we're going to find out right now from Orb who's still in and who's out.
Well, Shogun, the action is heating up and getting wrapped up here as we're getting into the end of day number 1. Now, Karmine Corp has been able to finish off Luminosity. They won 3-1 in the series with a final 4-1 win in game number 4. Then we had Misfits is currently up 2-1 against Endpoint. They're also leading game number 4 with 1-0. And Semper Semper was looking so solid. They were up 2-0. They were about to sweep, and with about a minute left, all of a sudden, Wolves had scored twice. It went back into overtime, and Wolves won the overtime. So I don't know if that's maybe a little bit cracking under the pressure.
You can't get rid of Tadpole, man. You can't get rid of him. He's still here.
That's what I've been hearing. That's what I've been hearing. Do you think like the old experience? I say old. It feels weird to say old because one, Rocket League is such a young game, and some of these older players are like what, 20, 25, 26 at max. But yeah, you guys were talking about it earlier. Is it the old experience that comes into play to be able to, I don't know, clutch out the wins and do well in these important matches when it matters the most?
I think it sometimes just comes from drive, and I think that's if you can find a veteran player with drive, drive and power. Yeah, I mean, if you can find an experienced player who's got the drive to perform at the best and the power to perform at the best, then we'll see them succeed in those moments. You see players like Garrett G who succeed time after time with that level of experience. But when it comes down to experience, if you've not got that same passion, you've still not got the same mechanics of these younger players who are coming through with a lot more passion and drive, then you're going to be beaten by them.
All right, well, it is time for the Champions Field Game 5 brought to you by Dacia. Guys, take it away. Is the Dignitas that's going to come back here? That is the question.
Well, from what we've seen so far, it is pretty much up to them. Team Liquid have not had an answer for a good 10 minutes of Rocket League so far. Will it be 15, or can they turn it around? The most telling game of Team Liquid's young careers, and a game that you can eliminate a lot of questions about yourself if you can step up in your first real test of how clutch you can be.
Yeah, we look at ex-Queso, now Moist. They were a team that struggled in Game 5s and Game 7s in the full split. They came into the winter split and were one of the most successful teams in those Game 5s. It really does separate the best teams from the rest, as the ability to step up and clutch after downloading your opponents and really understanding how they play. That's the real experience shower that makes the best teams win more.
Bosky puts the ball up high. We do want to see Liquid just retain position a little bit better here in Game 5. Have been quite wasteful at times, just throwing it straight back over, though. That's a good fake. Now set. What a goal by Team Liquid!
Such a good play from a Tau here. Coming down the line, recognizes Jack's early jump, takes it low, draws in Scrub, centers it. Achronix there. Quick little nippy plays to take out the 3 defenders. And Liquid showing a little bit of class in this final game.
And we've got a quick shout over here from Orb as well. Misfits have moved on, so Team Endpoint are out. And that means that their new pickup of Archie is also out along with them, so Endpoint would have wanted more from that one, Gregan, and unfortunately they are done.
Yeah, and also that's massive for Misfits because 2 of their biggest rivals in terms of getting into the wild card into Worlds, they've just knocked them out. Evil Genius' Endpoint above them, so that's going to be huge for them in the point standings. Jack gets a shot here. Opportunity now for Scrub. Can he think of something smart? He misses the ball. That's going to be an opportunity for Liquid where Joria is able to get back in time.
And Jorius looking to just try and transition, but it's not happening. Team Liquid, much more aggressive, much happier as Oski! Oh! goodness! Oski has just rinsed Dignitas!
You want someone to step up in the final moments, bringing out one of the hardest mechanics to do in Rocket League against one of the strongest defensive lineups in Dignitas. Oski has just blown everyone's mind. Liquid have come to win this Game 5.
Okay, well, the question's gone. Oski knows how to do it in Game 5. That's good to know. Let's move on with the rest of his career. I'm looking forward to it as we do get ourselves a 2-goal lead for Liquid. Is it free? No, apparently Jack will deny it. But Dignitas rattled. They were in so much control heading into this. And now it is quickly disappeared from their grasp. Chronic takes his own opportunity. 0 boost. He can't do any more with that, but he did so well to start with, as half the game has just disappeared in a blur of Team Liquid brilliance. As Chronic once again. It's just like that confidence just bleeds on over, doesn't it? Now Chronic going for everything he can. He thinks that he can pull off these sort of plays. Heck, for all we know, he might just be able to put this game away. Oski now, last one back. Apparently Jack looks for a player. Not going to happen. The towel just underneath the ball. And the game settles down a little bit. Dignitas need to get something from this play. Oski was bumped, but nobody around. Joris in the rotation back.
Oh, good play. Scrub Killer needs a good shot here. Sends it straight down the middle. Chronic able to save it away. And all of these opportunities, Liquid are positioning so well to defend and save them. We need to see threatening shots here from Dig. They're trying to open up the space for each other and they just can't get that final blow.
And it's quite simple right now for Team Liquid. It's Operation Oski. Let him jump into the air and air dribble for as long as you possibly can. He's beat on this occasion. It was never gonna be that easy.
The 50-50s from Scrub have been so key this whole series. And you see there, he pops it out high to his teammate. Jorias with an immaculate read, gets up high, gets up early, sends it to the net powerfully. And that's going to give them 1 goal now to try and claw back into this game. Liquid have to test their patience now. Can they play smart? Can they keep in control of this ball? Or will they overcommit like we saw them do earlier on? This is that vital moment for them to define their careers.
Apparently Jack has got Jorius, but he's got no chance to get over to him. Oski having none of it. As the shot coming in has no real power on it. Pop up. Nobody from Dignitas following, instead spreading out, getting themselves ready. But look how quick the challenge is always coming in from Team Liquid. They are not willing to settle on their back foot. As you do wonder where those sort of challenges can go. Another huge demo. Jorius takes his time. Does have a Chronic starting to move on in behind him. Now down to the final minute. When will the desperation play come from Dignitas? They need something big. Very brave of that one as Jorius back to Jack. That's a little bit high, but almost the own goal. Instead, it's a monstrous save. Fine margins might send them through to the next round.
Oh, this pressure from Dignitas. They are throwing everything at Liquid. Liquid panicking in small moments here. But if they can hold off this for 30 seconds, they will stop the reverse sweep. They do not want to be known as a team that gets reverse swept. They need to finish this now. 25 seconds, Dignitas in control.
The ball very much in the midfield. Team Liquid shaving more time off the clock. Apparently Jack is in the midfield. He's waiting for it. Jorius has got Jack to his left. Gets the ball over. No, it's intercepted. 2 players went for it, however. Dignitas can look to keep the play going. Instead, Oski over to the backboard. Great recovery from him. And they just need to get the ball onto the floor. Chase down from Jorius. It's a little bit high. Apparently, Jack has got Scrub across the field. He aims for him instead. Atal swipes the ball away. And Team Liquid have made day 2.
That was incredible from Liquid. That final game, the goals they scored were so deserved. And it was that guy, Oski, with the double flip reset that really woke up Liquid to take that final game. They deny the reverse sweep. They send Dignitas out of the tournament and they make a statement. We're here for the future of Rocket League.
Orb. I mean, what else to say? Wow, Team Liquid. There were questions. There was always going to be questions. How do you deal with this situation? I think that's the best answer they could have given.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think most people, what was the chat prediction there? Chat prediction was 65%, something for Dig, something like that.
Yeah, chat's really not doing great today.
Listen, chat predictions may have been a little wonky, but Liquid proving that they're a team to be reckoned with. I mean, we can't have asked for a better Game 5, the last final match that we were kind of hosting on the main stream. Huge opportunity there for Dignitas. I don't know who started that play, but that was very, very close. In terms of a final moment, that was huge. Obviously, Misfits, like I reported kind of to you guys while everything was going on, Misfits cleared out, and they beat M-Point 3-1. And Wolves and Semper, as you can see on your screen right now, they are down to a Game 5. Semper could have closed this one out at 2 games ago. But here we are in a Game 5. But now Semper may be looking to wake up a little bit, 2-0.
Yeah, I think also a little bit of history there. Cassio and Tadpole were previous teammates, where Cassio carried on flourishing at the top and Tadpole sort of disappeared for a while, getting quite unfortunate with rosters. So a little bit of a rivalry there between those two players. But I think really this has been the battle of, can Wolves keep that Cinderella run? They were not expected to even make this event, and they're here in lower round 2. And if they could take this win, it would be incredibly unexpected.
Yeah, maybe we should take this time, do a little listening if we can. I don't know if we have the possibility to do so.
I would take it. I'm really impressed that you two have managed to keep talking here. I'm so tired after that series.
What a series.
I would take a listen in.
Wolves. Good fake from Chaussette just to maintain pressure. It was intended. You guys don't understand. You're not at the high enough brain level to understand that that fake from Chaussette was genius. All right, let's take it back. We are good to go. I don't know what happened there. I think we had a technical difficulty, but we are back. We're 2-1 up in the game, and if we win this game, we are through to make top 8 in this first regional of the Spring Split. Exotic with a great touch. Cassio there. Chaussette should get a nice touch here. He should be able to try and keep it close. He almost does so. Exotic sends it downfield. 2 minutes left. We got to hold on to this lead. I would be very happy if we got another goal. Exotic with a great touch here. He's hopefully going to be able to follow this. Send it downfield. He tries to go and get a bump. He does get the bump, and there it is. Cassio's going to follow it through. And look at Exotic go. Look at Exotic go. Being a bully. Being a bully. He took that last goal personal. He did. And Exotic is going to help us get to 3-1. 2 minutes left, and we're going to get it. Exotic sends it over towards Tadpole. Tadpole's already been turning back the clock. He's already scored like a flip reset and an air dribble and stuff on us, man. Tadpole's been popping off if you guys have just joined in. Tadpole is primed and ready to go. Rezi has also been genuinely insane. Do you know who else is insane? This Exotic guy. Oh, Chaussette. Oh, Chaussette. Oh, no. Yo, what you got? Hider. There's no hiding there. Just got sent to Mars. He got sent to the shops. And we're 4-1 up. Oh my lord. Chaussette. The GOAT. GOAT set. Sorry, my throat is so messed up. I've been ill all week, so bear with me, guys. Oh, look at Chaussette go. Guys, we would never doubt it. Oh, look, Cassio go. This game is exactly like when Tadpole thought he had an RLCS spot and Cassio said, nope. That's what Cassio and Chaussette have done today. Top 8? Nope. Oh, do it to him. Oh, Exotic. Welcome to Semper. Alright guys, what do you guys want to watch? Should we start a new watch party? What do you guys want to talk about? I think this game's done and dusted. Let's what can we look at? What's going on Twitter? Let's look at Wikipedia. What do you guys want to do? I'm down. Private games, anyone? Private games? Anyone? I think I'm down. Yeah, see you guys tomorrow. I think the glasses can stay on for the rest of the game. For those who know, us we.
You're on the main channel. Hello, main channel. We are Semper Esports. We never lose. Okay, I did say we never lose, but we have a rule 1. You guys ready? I want an Ale Semper spam in chat, alright? Once it... Dad, I'm trying to tell them something. Alright, as soon as the game is done. No, not yet. When the game is done, Ale Semper in chat. I just want a full spam. The whole chat, Ale Semper, okay? Alright, you guys ready? Alright. We're gonna go for 2 this time. Ale Semper, when the clock ticks... Stop scoring! Guys, look. Ale Semper in chat when the game's done, alright? We're getting there, alright? I swear if they score again, I'm gonna be mad. Alright. Come on, let the ball die. Let it die, let it die, let it die, let it die. Please, let it die.
All right, there you have it. Semper able to clutch it out in the end. That might, I mean, I'm happy for them because that would have been painful. You know, you don't want to be reverse swept on a very, very important day, especially in lower round.
I hear what you're saying, but we could have had Tadpole in today too. You know, I would have been pretty okay with that.
I mean, that is true. You know, one team has to win and one team has to lose. It's very true. I'm just thinking of but also, listen, as much as it is a heartbreak for Semper, it would have been such a glorious moment for Wolves, on the other hand. So, I mean, there's some fairness to it. There's 2 sides to every coin. But yeah, we are wrapped up for round number 2. Let's take a final look here at the bracket to see the results. If you missed any of the matches, pay close attention to what you're seeing right here. I love seeing, I love looking over the bracket and seeing Moist in there. I want to say that. And it was a pleasure just listening to Stumpy and Cole cast that game. It was like, oh, the Moist boys are at it again. And I'm like, man, esports, Rocket League 2022.
You know they would have taken every chance. They were structuring every sentence they could to say as often as possible.
Oh, I don't listen. I don't doubt that for a second. I mean, looking at this bracket here. Obviously, we have a format change this time around. You have the double elimination bracket instead of the group stage. Gregan, your thoughts on that? Do you think that affects the players much? And I don't know, maybe their prep or maybe how they play it?
Well, it means every game is that bit more important. It's so brutal. We see so many teams in that lower bracket knocked out in day 1. We've lost 8 teams today, which is pretty rough on those teams that have lost through an upset here and there. But no one will be expecting to be making day 2 more than teams like Dignitas, Endpoint, Evil Geniuses. These guys have all been knocked out already. And K-Corp knocking out Luminosity Gaming, that team that just can't seem to make it to the end of a tournament despite having so much hype around them when they came into the winter split after that roster move. This event has really shown how the rest of this split is going to look in Europe. Obviously, North America is a little bit more consistent with those top teams. In Europe, we're going to have a different top 8 every single week, and it's going to be so much fun to watch.
I mean, Shogun, looking at the bracket here, looking at the matchups, we got to watch the Dignitas Liquid one, which you might say was a little bit of an upset. What do you think was the biggest upset so far? Was it the Dignitas game?
It's hard to say because as this is going to sound like a complete cop-out, and I will completely go with it as well. We don't know, for the most part, what an upset looks like anymore. These are all such different rosters, such different looks to all of them, that we can predict. We all tried today. We were all exceptionally wrong, apart from the minority, the 30% of you that seemingly kept getting it right. But we don't know what Europe as a region looks like because everything has imploded since the last time we saw them. So the only thing we know for real is BDS are very good and Moist Esports are very good. We were pretty certain about that coming in. Vitality, better than we were expecting. You know, I think we would have been pretty okay with them going 2-0 on the day, but to 6-0 their games, that I think has caught a lot of people out. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Shogun, you mentioned BDS, right? I mean, obviously they made a big change, right? Seiko is in, Mark by 8 is out. I mean, that change alone, do you think that was a needed change for them? Do you think that was a big surprise overall? I mean, so far, you know, they've gone, you know, into the next round. So Has it proven to be the right call?
I don't think this is a roster move that would have been done unless they thought it was needed. You know, they are aware. They're not dumb. They are aware of what everyone thought about that roster, and they still made the move because they believe bringing Seiko in was an improvement. And I don't think there's many rosters in the world that you can look at and say bringing Seiko in is not an improvement. So I'll have to trust them on this one. They know better than me, and so far they're being proved correct.
Yeah, be scared. Be scared of that roster. We saw in the previous events, like the full split, that was when the North American region was scared of Seiko on the ball and Monkey Moon on the ball. Now imagine both of them in the same lobby against you on the ball, taking turns, whilst Extra's cleaning everything up behind them. BDS are going to be one of the greatest teams of all time with this roster, and we are just seeing the start of it now.
All right, well, listen, my friends, I think that's all we had in store for you guys when it comes to day one RLCS. The Dacia Spring Cup is just beginning. Once again, this is day one. So we're going to see who is able to bring it here for day two and day three. Who's got it? Who doesn't? That is the question. Be back here, same time, same place tomorrow. More Rocket League goodness coming your way. The Dacia Spring Cup day two coming your way. See you tomorrow. Bye.